With Paul Steigerwald, this is Mike Lang at the Camp Center in Landover, Maryland, where the Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals are all tied at 1 apiece. And Kelly Miller drags it back for the Capitals, going to the Penguins' end. Nora, the Miller brother fame in this league, put it back in front of the goal, and it comes off Grant Jennings, and Jennings digging for it. Back in the corner, Samuelson ties up the man. That's one thing the Penguins want their defensemen to do, is tie up those people with that puck, because they love to cycle and work out the board.
You got to pin your man.
Stevens now cutting through to the Capitals in, and a late whistle there, but an offside call. And now Cicerelli and Stevens, and Cicerelli bumped him from behind, and Stevens pushes back. Stevens was about 15 to 20 feet inside the zone when the whistle sounded on the offside play, and Cicerelli and Stevens jaw with one another.
Stevens really trying to stay under control. It's pretty obvious the way he skated away from Cicerelli there, and Dino came right back at him, trying to get under his skin with some verbal abuse. I was watching Sel Samuelson coming back on this rush, Mike, with Kelly Miller holding the puck a moment ago. This is the Penguins busting in. You see Iafrate pushing Rick Tocchet offside, and Stevens brought it across. But Sel Samuelson had Kelly Miller coming down the wing. He didn't even look at Miller. He just kind of felt that he had control of him as he came down the left side. Samuelson playing the right side, and Samuelson had his eyes fixed behind Miller, looking around to see who he might be passing to. He was conscious that he had him under control. He didn't have to keep his eyes right on the man with the puck.
Penguins win this face-off, and they slip it up into the Capitals' end, but they're offside again. Somebody got into the zone before the puck went in there, and they call it back. Game 2 coming up on Tuesday night of this playoff series. You know, as the Badger used to say, you got to win 4. You got to win 4.
And you can lose 3. He used to say you can lose 3 and still win the series. Don't forget that.
Sel Samuelson again at center. The Badger, of course, referred to the former Penguin coach, Bob Johnson. He came to the Penguins in 1 year and led them to the Stanley Cup. After a great career at the University of Wisconsin, on with the Calgary Flames, and also a lot of good things happening with his wife Martha, and establishing the Johnson fund that they have for scholarships, and
Bob Johnson Hockey Foundation.
Yeah, Hockey Foundation.
And the Penguins, I think, learned more than anything under Badger Bob to overcome adversity, the kind of adversity they're faced with here tonight with Mario Lemieux out of the lineup, and they've played very well in this game so far, a 1-1 tie.
Sel Samuelson will dump it in behind the Capitals goal. Iafrate comes in, and Stevens will hit him with a shoulder. Now it's off the boards. Pratier has it, trying to put it in front. He does. It deflects right in on Beaupre. And Stevens is right in front of that net as Iafrate is next to him. Kevin Stevens causing problems for the Capital defenseman right in front of that net with the size that he has. We talked about Hatcher in the size, but Stevens at 6'3", 220 pounds. He's the consummate, as they call it now, in the National Hockey League, power forward in this league. 54 goals in the regular season, over 100 points, over 250 minutes in penalty time, and he can fly like the wind. He can skate.
And he's a real leader in this locker room for the Penguins. Last year, he really kind of emerged as that vocal leader. Brian Trottier just loves to talk about the leadership qualities of Kevin Stevens, and he's seen some great ones. He used to talk a lot, and he does talk a lot about the way Clark Gillies would command that kind of respect from his teammates in the locker room, and Kevin Stevens a similar player.
Stevens has amassed the most points ever by a left winger in the National Hockey League this year, and the most points ever by an American player. And Dale Hunter now rambles through, going to the Capitals, the Penguin line, and he shoots it in. Barrasso stops it. He'll snap it around the boards, and it comes off. Tocchet hustles over to try and get it at center, but he can't. The Penguins, Pratier will. Brian Pratier, good left wing pass here. Stevens moves in. His wrist shot. He missed the net. Tried to go to the far post on Beaupre, but couldn't find it. Game opens up now, and Dale Hunter of the Capitals couldn't get into the Penguins' end. Still left outside that line, and Sel Samuelson winding in the boards. Tocchet tried to push it over to Stevens. Intercepted by the Washington Capitals, and Dmitry Kristich gets his way to the Penguins' end. Just on time was McDermott, the puck into the far corner, and Sel Samuelson, the Penguin defenseman, comes to McDermott, flattens him with a shoulder. Off to the right point, Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher whip it to the net, and a stop by Barrasso, and play a stop, and now a collision between Stevens and Dale Hunter, and here's Ulf Samuelson and Paul McDermott whacking one another. McDermott kicks Samuelson's stick away. I think it might be broken anyway. Rick Tocchet and Dale Hunter, they've matched up a few times. McDermott just came in and flattened Shel Samuelson with the right arm. Sent him flying.
Yeah, flying elbow by McDermott. Trache was in there digging behind Dimitri Kristich. And now Samuelson talking to Jerry Payton, the linesman. Well, Tom Barrasso a moment ago, and you see now Scotty Bowman having a word with Kerry Frazier, and maybe the Penguins feel the Capitals getting away with some liberties here, and they want to just set the record straight. But Tom Barrasso made a big play a moment ago to stop that dump in by the Caps and immediately fire it up the near boards and back out. He did that so successfully last year in this playoff series between the Penguins and Capitals, and the Caps just never really adjusted to it. And that's the one thing that Barrasso does just so much better than Don Beaupre, is that ability to come out and handle the puck. Beaupre really doesn't seem to even have the confidence to want to come out of the goal and handle it. Barrasso can really help his defenseman out by stepping out and moving it the way he does, particularly, as I said earlier, with those boards being as dead as they are. If he can get out quickly and get to it, those guys don't have to come back and have their face against the glass as they try to make plays out of their own end.
Dave Tippett on here with Johnny Bruce, who holds the left wing, and Alan May on the right side, and Herdina, the Penguin center iceman, face off right wing circle Penguin zone. And it's whistled down, a false face off. They have to do it again. Tippett's going to get it waved out, I think. And Alan May is called upon here to handle the draw against Yuri Herdina.
This has been a very effective line for the Penguins throughout the hockey game, particularly here in the second period. Herdina with Airy and Yager.
For the right point of the Penguins in, a slap shot towards the net, blocked in front. Larry Murphy couldn't get it out, though. Left point, Johansson beat it over to the right wing corner. Alan May of the Capitals. Hang it right back in behind the net. Dave Tippett handled by Murphy, but the Capitals come over and gain the puck. They can't make a play. Jaromir Jagr looks for somewhere to go with it. Shot it up the backside of his own man, Larry Murphy. Capitals on the right side. Alan May shoots it to the net, and that's stopped by Barrasso's stick. Now taking forward, Dolph Samuelson. Cutting to the right of his own goal, bank it off the glass. Johansson knocked it down with a glove. Over to John Druce. Turns and shoots and scores. Johnny Druce fired it off the left wing boards, and the Capitals have taken the lead 2-1. John Druce.
Penguins just had too many opportunities to get that puck out of their zone and did not do it. Yager hit one of the Caps with a pass, a cross-ice pass out of his own end that was held in. And then Ulf Samuelsson fired the puck off the glass, but Calle Johansson did a good job of holding it in. Druce right off the boards. He's got a quick release. Barrasso down on the short side. Saw that puck sail over his shoulder and into the net. Barrasso went down pretty early on that shot.
That hit Murphy's stick, I believe, on the way in. The Penguin defenseman hopped up right over the shoulder of Barrasso, and the Capitals have the lead again, 2-1. Larry Murphy from behind the Pittsburgh goal. On to Wolf Samuelson. His pass intercepted by Calle Johansson. Johansson left it inside the Penguin line, and Yager clears, but Johansson shoots it in again. Johansson will have the only assist. And Larry Murphy again swings it back into the Capitals' left wing corner. Kevin Hatcher on defense. Back around over to Johansson. Pavanka takes the puck, cuts into the Penguins in. A drop pass, Herdina able to steal that as Yager breaking up eyes and hits him with a pass. Yager 1-on-1 against Cote of the Capitals. Yager pulls in, stops now. Dear boys, pass off. A shot by the Penguins stands. Deflected. Here's Herdina with it. Herdina throwing right across the goal mouth. Nobody there. And Randy Burridge will drive it up the sideboards and back to center. It comes back into the Capitals in. Burridge went over to take possession, but it bounced by him, and Cote will give it to Burridge. Relay it to the Penguin net. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, forces it out of his own end on the center. 5:10 to go in the second period. Washington 2 and Pittsburgh 1. Game 1 of the semifinal Patrick Division playoff series. And again, directed to the Penguin, the Capitals in. Beaupre comes out of the goal. Third it up. The Capitals have a little break going here. McDermott and Christie. Here they come to the Penguins in. Christie's against Shel Samuelson, and Samuelson just takes him right out of the action. Paul McDermott over to get to the puck. To Dale Hunter of Washington. And this pass right to Joey Mullen. Francis has a broken stick apparently. Grabs, goes towards that bench. I thought he was going to get a new blade, but he did not. He kicked the puck into the Capital zone. Joey Mullen looking for it. Who's going to find the puck? And it's circle around and around. Slagle knocks down Francis Mullen. Down to Loney in front. Trying to make the play. Loney can't drive it in. He tries again. And Beaupre says no. Donnie Beaupre stopping Troy Loney twice from point-blank range. And he keeps the Penguins from tying the game. 4:25 left, second period. 2-1 Washington on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Sold.
Let's say you bought a painting. Let's say Van Gogh's Sunflowers. Let's say you used the Discover card. You'd have a little money coming back. Because with the Discover card, every single charge earns an annual cashback bonus.
Nice.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
I think Ronnie Francis made a wise decision in not going to the bench to get a stick. He just kicked the puck into the offensive zone, and the Penguins were able to then gain control of it. Look at Francis getting knocked down, working that puck over to Mullen. And Loney went right to the net and hammered at that puck. Beaupre held it out of there. Loney got another crack at it, but just couldn't get it up in the air on the backhand.
Now, Brad Slagle, the young rookie defenseman, stood out there 40 feet from the net, and Francis had him tied up, and he never was around the goal, and the Penguins almost tied it. Joey Mullen also got a stick on that shot. Here's Miller back for the Capitals. 2-on-1 to the Penguins in. Kelly Miller cuts for the net. His shot, and Barrasso stopped him from the left wing circle. Penguins go the other way. This game has had a lot of good scoring chances in it. Rick Tocchet around to the near boards. Tocchet looks for a trailer. Jennings is over. Ciccarelli beat him to it. Dino Ciccarelli looking to headman the puck, but Tocchet intercepts that. They slam it through into the Capital zone, and Iafrate simply cleared. Ciccarelli sneaking into Penguin ice, and Kjell Samuelsson back defensively. We'll find Stevens ahead now to Rick Tocchet. Penguin right winger against Langway. Pulls up. Shoot it down the boards and behind the net. Beaupre gets the puck over to Hatcher, and on the right wing it is tapped over to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli a washing into the Penguins in, skating well. Gave it to an open man, really, but he can't control it, and the Penguins force it back to the Capitals line. Penguins want to make a line change right now with 3:20 left here in this second period. Dimitri Christie zigzag into the Penguin zone. It came off Ulf Samuelsson up in the air. Penguins can't clear. Dale Hunter drags it over. Hunter looking to make a play out of the corner, and he loves to make that move, but he can't find anybody, and Hrdina quickly on the counterattack to Bob Airy of the Pens. Over to Hrdina, left side, camps in. Put it in front. It went right by Bob Airy's stick as he was knocked down. Capitals spin it around to the near boards, and Dale Hunter slowly brings it through the alley. Going to the Penguin zone. Poke checked off his stick. The Penguins will try and go the other way. They have the puck, and Bob Airy looking for Murphy on the near side, and Larry Murphy flips that puck up into the left wing corner. Capitals territory. Christie around the horn. And Paul McDermott handles the puck. Capitals right winger. Too far for Dale Hunter. He'll come off the ice now as the Capitals will change on the move also. 2-1 Washington here in the second. Jaromir Jagr has the puck. Suited up Johansson's body. It came to the left point. Gordy Roberts wristed back into the right side of the Capitol zone. Comes up in the air and over the glass and out of action.
Well, Dimitri Christie is a guy with tremendous hands. He's got great skills, and you've seen him tonight trying to beat everybody as he carries that puck into the offensive zone, but it's not working against that Penguin defense. But at least he has the confidence now to handle the puck the way he did. Last year in the playoffs, not particularly effective. He was just getting his feet wet in Stanley Cup playoff competition for the Capitals. Christie had only 1 goal and 4 points in the 11 playoff games last year, but then he found his game at the beginning of this regular season, and as I said, was able to score 36 goals during the regular season, and that's more goals than any other Russian player scored this year in the NHL, which is kind of a surprise because Christie, a young guy, really wasn't talked about all that much when the season began.
Well, the North Stars back to their old tricks. They beat Detroit last night in the opening game of that series. Edmonton beat the Kings 3-1 at Los Angeles. Chicago winning their series to begin the Stanley Cup play. And Winnipeg knocking off Vancouver. A few upsets last night. Not surprised, really, with the long layoff the players had. Might see a few upsets here in this playoff year, as we did last year, really. Loney over. Bondra steps into him. Now Loney again gets away from that check. On to Francis. Remember, Bondra's trapped up ice. Here goes Mullen, right side. Comes in and shoots it. Good save made. Rebound. Where is it? Beaupre's got that puck. The rebound came up, but Beaupre somehow scrambled to grab it again. Peter Bondra got trapped up ice, and you could just feel the momentum going to the Penguins coming in. But they can't be Beaupre, who has been sparkling.
And you see Joey Mullen with that great patience that he has offensively. Francis made a nice pass to him, and he waited. Looked the net over, pulled Beaupre over to one side, took the shot. The rebound came up and hit Loney or Francis coming across. And Beaupre went diving back towards that goal line and pulled it in and smothered it. Ronnie Francis with a nice pass to Joey Mullen. He waited, and then shot it. Beaupre got it, and Francis almost knocked it out of the air into the net. That was a good save by Beaupre because of the way Mullen pulled him over to one side and then shot it back against the grain, and he was still able to extend his stick glove out there.
But in the second period, Beaupre has been more vulnerable to those shots up high and juggling it. They haven't come away from him. And the Penguins are starting to do that more here and trying to take advantage of it. Granted, he scrambled to get back and make the stop, but it's not something the goaltender wants to do consciously, especially leave that puck in front of the net for any length of time with people around there. We have 1:45 left here in this second period. We had no scoring in the opening 20 minutes, but Bondra and John Druce connecting for the Capitals, Troy Loney for the Penguins.
Gary Murray's team did not skate here at the Cap Center this morning. The Penguins did. They skated at their new training facility, which they say has been a big help to them throughout the course of this season out in Piney Orchard. So only one team was on hand today for the media interviews for that first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And Kevin Hatcher now to the face-off at the Caps line. Looking to Dale Hunter. The Penguins break up that maneuver and shoot it back into the Capitals' left wing circle. Hunter's back to again gather it in. Pass up in the air. Here's Mullen being whacked out by Dale Hunter. And I think we're going to have penalties issued here to both Dale Hunter and Joey Mullen. Hunter just worked over Mullen, and then Joey retaliated, and I think they're both going to sit out.
Mike, you know, that might be by design, too, that the Capitals are keeping their team out at their training facility, knowing that the media will tend to want to come down here to the rink where the games are going to be played. And it's difficult to be in two places at once. And I remember last year, Craig Patrick did a job of trying to control the amount of attention that the media was able to get from the players, because it was a bit of a distraction, or at least he felt it was. And perhaps the Capitals have thought about that too. What with all the talk about the Capitals not being able to get past the second round of the playoffs, they just want to eliminate that distraction. As Dale Hunter goes to the locker room.
Washington, number 32, Dale Hunter, 2 minutes for charging. Time of the penalties is 18:36.
Charging call to Hunter, and I think a roughing.
You're right. Roughing to Joey Mullen.
2 minutes charging. Time of the penalties 18:36.
Kevin Hatcher said in Pittsburgh after the Caps lost at their last regular season game last week, he said this is going to be a series where you could score 5 goals and lose, or score 2 goals and win. And Scotty Bowman's team is down by 1 right now. The Capitals with a 2-1 lead, 1:24 to go in the second period.
You know what's interesting too? You have the 2 top teams. I think Buffalo might have been another one. The 2 top teams that being able to come from behind when they trail in the third period, go into the third period this year. Penguins have done it 8 times, which is the #1 mark in the league. The Capitals are 7 times they've rallied. So you've got 2 teams that have the ability to come back in games. This could be a great series. Back behind the Capital net, Tocchet fell on his wallet as he tried to reach in and grab the puck. Simply lost his balance. Stevens, though, in the left wing corner. 1:10 to go in the period. Frazier, the referee, trying to get out of the way. Now Trottier behind the goal. Langway steps in, steals from his blade, and gives it over to no man Wrigley, who will poke it through up the center. Grant Jennings with a minute to go. Played it up into the penalty box, and that'll stop the action. The faceoff will take place inside the Penguin line. So they both are very capable of coming from behind in games. Capitals lost only 12 times here. The Penguins have the best winning streak in the National Hockey League, or tied it down the stretch run. They won 9 consecutive games on home ice to finish out the season. So they'll have that on the line when they return home back to the Civic Arena coming up Thursday.
Bryan Trottier playing in his 199th playoff game.
The only man that's played more, Larry Robinson of the Los Angeles Kings. Cicerelli is centered out, blasting the puck into the Penguin zone. It comes off the near side, and Tocchet worked it around. Trottier ran into Langway, and the play is going to be stopped as Langway just tapped it back inside, and another offside call.
I was looking at Rod Langway's statistics, Mike. He has never been a minus player in his career. 14th season in the National Hockey League. Talk about why they put defense. You open up the dictionary and you find his picture next to that word. The captain of the Caps, Rod Langway, the fixture here in the Washington area,
and affectionately called the Secretary of Defense.
Right.
Tocchet from the draw is going to shoot it back to the Penguin net. Barrasso. Lets Larry Murphy handle the biscuit, and he shoots it up the right side, intercepted by the Capitals, but they can't make anything happen. Langway finally gets the puck over to Mike Ridley, and he shoots it in. Left wing corner, Dino Cicerelli with a good speed goes behind the net, and then Samuelson lined him up and crunches him. He was looking for Dino, and Dino cut in behind, and he yells now at Elf Samuelson. On to center, we'll go to Langway. Ryan Langway. Giving the puck over, and here's a check by Stevens on Mike Ridley. Flattens him, and Kelly Miller steps into Kevin Stevens. Back in the Capitals, 6 seconds to go in the period. Cicerelli turned around by Larry Murphy. Dino now goes out, man open, look out, a shot. Set by Barrasso. Kelly Miller let it go. Time runs out. The Capitals almost had another goal there as time run out. And here's Larry Murphy and Dino Cicerelli barking away at one another. And Kerry Fraser, the referee, trying to pry people apart. Well, a very hard-fought game here tonight so far. And through two, the Capitals have the lead over the Penguins 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Recently, we asked you to give your Giant Eagle receipts to schools so they could redeem them for free Apple computers. The response has been overwhelming. But remember, all receipts must be turned into your local school by Saturday, April 25th. So keep up the good work. Apples for students from Giant Eagle. It's working.
The sun, the surf, the sand, the babes, the beach. The truth, it's 3,000 miles away and has nothing to do with Pittsburgh or beer. It's time to take action. It's time for you to write and star in your own beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101. Now.
Channel 11 News with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan. Professional journalists involved in their work, involved in their community. David Johnson's years in Pittsburgh give him first-hand knowledge of local issues. Add to that Peggy Finnegan's experience reporting, and it means complete detailed news coverage from Channel 11's news team. If you haven't seen us lately, it's time to see what you've been missing. Channel 11 News with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan. More news, more often.
Well, at the end of two, the Capitals lead the Penguins 2-1. We had no scoring in the first period, but the Capitals got on the board first. Bondra at 3:03 to make it 1-0 from Pavanka and Burridge. At 3:41, 38 seconds later, Troy Loney on a long-range slap shot tied it, and John Bruce from the left wing boards and the Penguins end gave the Capitals the 2-1 advantage. The shots on goal in the period, the Capitals had 10, a two-period total of 18. The Penguins had 18 shots on Donnie Beaupre in that period, now have 26 on the night. Penguins have not had a power play chance in this game, and the Capitals are 0 for 2, both of those coming in the first period. When we come back, we will talk to Penguins captain Mario Lemieux, who was on the sideline for tonight's game, and we will chat with a big center iceman on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You can count on Sears Brand Central for all the brand name electronics and appliances you want. No wonder more people buy more top name brands from the store they trust. And now you can save $100 on this 386 SX 20 megahertz Packard Bell computer with 105 megabyte hard drive. Or get this full-size LXI or Fisher 8mm camcorder for a very low $5.99. Your choice, only at Sears Brand Central.
Penn's Pro Shops in South Hills Village and Century 3 Mall, featuring an exclusive line of 25th anniversary merchandise. To order by phone, call 642-2019.
Savor the silver. While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a way to consolidate all your bills and loans. Home equity loans from Mellon. While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a new nursery. Home equity loans from Mellon.
What would you say if you could save? What would you say to hundreds in incentive savings on new Toyotas? Or savings of over $1,000 on this new Corolla? Now you're talking. You bet. Make your best deal on any new Toyota, and there's no monthly payments until July.
Now you're talking.
We're talking great deals now on every new Camry. So what do you say? Now you're talking. Come on into your Toyota dealer. And hurry. We're talking deals with no payments till July.
Well, this interview is brought to you by Diet Pepsi. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Pepsi, great new look, the same great taste. And now with us, center ice from Mario Lemieux, the winner of the scoring championship in the National Hockey League this year. And Mario, the big question on everybody's mind is the status of your shoulder and what your thoughts are as to when you may be able to come back.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to play on Tuesday. My shoulder is feeling a lot better the last couple of days, but still pretty weak. I tried to skate this morning, tried to shoot and make some passes. Couldn't do that very well, so we decided to wait a couple more days. And hopefully it'll be fine by Tuesday night.
Mario, in the game against New Jersey, it was kind of an innocent-looking play, really, and just kind of lost your balance and went into the boards after Danico got a piece of you. Did you feel a sharp reaction right away?
Yeah, I knew right away that something was wrong. I hurt my shoulder a couple of years ago the same way. It wasn't as serious, but this time I knew right away, and hopefully, I'll be able to go by Tuesday.
Mario, you've been in the National Hockey League. This is your 8th year. You've only been in the playoffs twice. I looked at that today. The things you've accomplished have been unbelievable. You won the Conn Smythe Trophy last year. The big game you had against Philadelphia in '89. You really want to play in this playoff series, do you not?
Oh, definitely. Every time you get into the playoffs, it's exciting hockey for everybody, for the fans and for the players and everybody involved in the organization. And I certainly miss it tonight. I wish I was on the ice right now, but due to my shoulder, I have to sit out one game. But hopefully I can get back in there on Tuesday and play very well for the team.
Mario, I'm going to flatter you a little bit, but I've said in watching your career, and I've seen almost, I think, all but 2 of the games you've played in, that you can play on any level of this game that anybody wants to. And I mean, I'm talking on the level in the Canada series and everything else, and it is something. You seem to raise your game up to the level, whatever level you really want. Am I right in reading that? Or?
Well, you're pretty right. I like to play in those type of games where there's a lot of pressure and you have to perform to the best. And I've been doing that since I was really young, and I enjoy doing it. So hopefully I'll do that for the rest of my career.
All right, got about a minute. Look at this hockey game so far and tell me what you see in it.
Well, it's a great hockey game so far. Don Beaupre made some key saves early in the game to keep his team in the game. Tommy made some great saves late in the second to keep us in the game, and I think both teams are playing very well right now. Hopefully we can score a couple of goals in the third and take the first game.
All right, you got this guy one-on-one coming in by yourself, Donnie Beaupre. How do you beat him?
Well, he's very quick. He's one of the best in the league, and when you saw early when Ronnie Francis went in, he was very quick to react to his right. So I think with Don Beaupre, you have to have a quick release and catch him off guard.
Mario, how do you see this series?
Well, it's going to be a tough series. It's not going to be a short series, that's for sure. But hopefully we can win one in this building, then go home and win a couple games and go from there. But we certainly expect to win this series.
I appreciate you taking the time to join us, Mario.
All right,
Best
Mike.
of luck and get back in that lineup, will you, buddy? All right, thank you. This interview has been brought to you by Diet Pepsi. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Pepsi, great new look, same great taste. We'll be back with more from the Cap Center in a moment. Capitals lead 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
For the last time, name the secret ingredient that gives Diet Pepsi an unfair advantage.
Uh-huh.
Well, what is it?
It's like this, baby. You know it's uh-huh, 'cause the taste is uh-huh, baby. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% uh-huh. painting. Let's say Van Gogh sunflowers. Let's say you use the Discover card. You'd have a little money coming back. Because with the Discover card, every single charge earns an annual cashback bonus.
Nice.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
If only there were two. We wouldn't have to worry about the environment. We'd have a backup. But there is no second chance, which is why Giant Eagle offers an environmentally friendlier line of high-quality Green Mark products, like unbleached coffee filters and phosphate-free detergent. Each, in a small way, can help protect the one world we do have.
Capitals with a 2-1 lead over the Penguins after 2 periods of play in Game 1 of the Patrick Division semifinal series. Plenty of good seats still remain for the games back in Pittsburgh. The Penguins will play home games on Thursday, April 23rd, Saturday, April 25th, and if necessary, Wednesday, April 29th. And face-off for all games is 7:35. Call tomorrow morning to place your order at 412-333-SEAT. Visa and MasterCard are accepted. Checking out the face-offs in that period. Second period total is on the left, and the game total in the parentheses. Penguins with 7 offensive face-off wins, the Capitals with only 2. Penguins with 1 defensive face-off win, and the Capitals with 6. And in the neutral zone, 5-5. A total of 9-8. But the Penguins really got great penalty killing early in this hockey game that gave them some confidence. And as the Capitals took that 2-1 lead over the Penguins in the second period, you saw them gaining confidence towards the end of the period. And in fact, they had a good scoring chance right at the buzzer. And now the Penguins are going to have to find something in the third. They have yet to have a power play opportunity in this hockey game. The Penguins killed off a 3-minute major penalty at one point. It was a 5-minute major, but 2 minutes of it were offset by a penalty to Dino Ciccarelli. Phil Bourque was thrown out of the game for a high stick on Ciccarelli, and he has not been available to the Penguins. We'll be back in just a moment with Washington enjoying a 2-1 lead over the Penguins. We're in the second intermission on the Penguins Hockey Network.
If it's the right beer now, then in 10 minutes, it won't be the right beer anymore, will it? Because now will be over, and you won't have anything to drink. So maybe it's time for you to write and star in an intelligent beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101 now.
If I wasn't the manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates, the best gift I could get would be a trip to Camp Bradenton. I mean, this is what I call a fantasy vacation. A week in Florida playing baseball with some of the greatest Pirates of all time. So give someone you love the chance to live a dream. Call now and ask about a baseball vacation at Camp Bradenton. You'll be given a lifetime of memories.
When many people visit a car dealer, there's one thing they never take inside: trust. But Don Allen has the experience and ethics to give people what they need in a car dealer: integrity. Don Allen Chevrolet Geo. You'll feel the difference. Over 600 cars and trucks will break down in Pittsburgh today, and Don Allen's technicians are trained to repair all of them. For car and truck repair service, call 1-800-282-1323. Don Allen Chevrolet Geo. You'll feel the difference.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is being brought to you by Sears Brand Central. The brands you want at the store you trust. Sears Brand Central. By Remax. It's the experience, the real estate experience. By Pepsi-Cola. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Great new look, same great taste. And by Dodge. For your great deals, see your nearby Dodge dealers, the advantage leaders.
Well, the second period scoring, Peter Bondra connected for the Capitals first. He had 28 in the regular season, gets his first in the playoffs at 3:03.
He just got that puck underneath the body of Tom Barrasso. Bondra has had a good year.
That's Bondra's first ever playoff goal.
Yep. He only had 12 goals all last season and a total of 28 this year in the regular season. One of many Capitals who busted out in the scoring department. Troy Loney tied the game with a hard slap shot coming down the left wing that caught Beaupre by surprise, beat him between the pads. Ulf Samuelsson and Joey Mullen assisting at 3:41. And then John Druce came off the boards, took a shot. Phil Samuelsson just pulled his leg out of the way of that shot, and Barrasso was down on his knees and went over his shoulder and into the net. And Druce picks up his first playoff goal of the year from Johansson. And the Penguins had problems getting the puck out of their own zone. That's what led to that goal. They had a few opportunities to get it out and couldn't do it.
John Druce in 89-90 had 14 playoff goals in 15 games, and he single-handedly destroyed the Rangers that year in that playoff series and beat them. Now we get ready for the third period. Encouraging sign for the Penguins. They had 18 shots in the second period. At the 20-minute mark, we have penalties dished out to Larry Murphy of the Penguins and Dino Ciccarelli of the Capitals. Also, Dale Hunter and Joey Mullen still have time to serve on their penalties when we begin the third.
Capitals appear to gain some momentum, though, Mike, in the last few minutes of that period after getting the lead. And it's always tough to come back no matter what the score is in the third period. When you're down, when you're behind, it's a tough task. But as Mike pointed out earlier, the Penguins have been a team that has shown the ability to come back in these situations.
And not only that, they come back in bunches. They can score in a hurry and pick up goals, and the Capitals are fully aware of that, and the Caps will be in that same category. They can score in a hurry. It's some high-scoring games with these two teams during the course of the regular season.
It really looked like it was going to be a high-scoring game early in the game, but both goaltenders kept it from being one. They were spectacular in the first 10 minutes of this hockey game.
Herdina, the Penguins with Yager and Loney. We begin the third period, and the Capitals have it, and Calle Johansson will steer it to the Penguin goal. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, sets it up for Grant Jennings, who wears number 3. Part of that big deal that brought Ronnie Francis and Ulf Samuelsson of the Penguins, too, from the Hartford Whalers. Long shot by Loney, who connected with the only Penguins goal on that shot. An identical same spot. This time Beaupre stops him. Yager in the zone. Pulls up, hit, but he gets it over to Herdina. Herdina comes in. Herdina looks for a play. Goes behind the goal. Out now to Shell Samuelsson. He pulls the trigger and he missed the net. Around to the near boards to Peter Bondra. Bondra now up in the air for Vaca. Made a good play to knock it down out of the air and flip it to the right wing corner. Jennings, though, defensively, hit heavily on a good solid check by Randy Burridge. And now Bondra is pinned against the boards by Troy Loney. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, tried to play it out. Here's Cote, though, shooting it back to the net. Barrasso put his stick out to make the save. From behind the goal, Bondra comes out, trying to stuff it on the short side, and stopped by Barrasso's left leg. Herdina, the Penguin, send it away to Troy Loney. Loney comes up. He's going to drive it to the right wing corner of the Capitals end. Look for Yager here in this third period. As we've told you, he's been a big third period player. Yager had 32 goals on the year for the Penguins, and 17 of those came in the third period. Ridley going left wing over to Kelly Miller, and he steps up into the Penguin zone. Stanton checks him. Mike Ridley. Washington center ice, good pass over to Aya Frady. Ida Frady moves in, doesn't shoot it, now pulls back and fires it. Stopped by Barrasso off his leg, and it carries him wide of the goal. Pretty play by Aya Frady, but he couldn't get it by Barrasso. And now it's the Penguins' turn. The game opens up. It's Stanton leading the rush back. Roll it around the boards, around to the far side. Langway flags it down, and he gets it out of danger. That's Langway's strong point, just to move the puck out of his own end. That's defensive defenseman that people look for, along with those offensive threats. And here is Ronnie Francis again, carries it back into the Capitals end. Drop pass to Stevens. Flip it towards the net. Comes off in behind the goal. Pocket turned around by Dimitri Christie. Stevens will belt Ridley. They whack one another. And push and shove, and up from the Capitals now. Rushing back is Aya Frady. Aya Frady starts into the Penguins in and offside the call. Stevens and Mike Ridley. John with one another pretty good back out of the Capitals zone. Now the offside play stops the play. Caps lead 2-1 here in the third on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I have an excess of 230,000 miles on my Acura. But I've only gone through 5 sets of brakes and about 7 sets of tires. Other than that, the car is maintenance-free.
If you're looking for a lasting relationship, meet the Acura Vigor. For a limited time, you can lease the Vigor LS sedan with driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes for only $299 a month for 48 months with no money down. Build a long-term relationship. Test drive an Acura at your Western Pennsylvania Acura dealer.
Now Iafrate is so dangerous, and he was able to pull down Gordy Roberts, cut in front of Barrasso, and Barrasso got his right pad on the shot and made the save on Al Iafrate. Barrasso has come out to challenge the shooters beautifully in this hockey game. He's been very aggressive, and it has paid off for him.
Well, the Sabres lead Boston 3-0 now in the second period at Boston. The Rangers lead New Jersey 1-0, second period at Madison Square Garden. And Montreal leads Hartford 1-0, second period at Montreal. And the Penguins down by a goal here in the third. And Kevin Stevens on the play. Big booming slap shot misses the target. Around to the right wing boards. Francis over to Mullen. So they've got Stevens and Mullen working the wings for Ronnie Francis. But the Capitals carry the mail. And Hunter tries to deliver it to the Penguins, and he does. And Kevin Stevens back checking in his own zone. Push it up ahead. The pass too far for Francis, and the Capitals wind it down the wood. In behind the Penguin net. Barrasso sets it up for Larry Murphy. Not much time to wait here. You got to move the puck in a hurry. Capitals putting pressure on. Murphy again. Samuelson was knocked down by McDermott. And a penalty coming up here, I believe, against Paul McDermott of the Capitals. And now Murphy runs into McDermott, and McDermott whacks him. I think Paul McDermott is already going off, trying to take somebody with him, but he is going to sit down. And the Penguins will put the power play to use for the first time in this hockey game. Paul McDermott took a run at Ulf Samuelson. And so the Penguins will work with a man advantage. 2:48, the time of the penalty to McDermott, the Capital right winger. Paul McDermott on the regular season.
He just jumped on Samuelson's back and pulled him right back off his skates.
194 minutes in penalty time.
And then argued on the way to the box. Pete Singleton of Mount Lebanon, PA, is our contestant on the Iron Man Advantage contest. A $100 bill on the line from Iron City Beer.
They call it holding.
23, Paul McDermott. 2 minutes for roughing. And 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Oh, he's going to get 2 for roughing and 2 for cross-checking. Well, he took a shot at Larry Murphy as he was coming off the ice. And he picked up a double minor. So the Penguins have a 4-minute power play here working. Well, 4 minutes to start with. If they should score in the first one, they would get this full 2 minutes on the second power play attempt.
Really, Terry Murray's lips, he said, stupid penalty. I don't know if he was directing that at his player or Gary Fraser. That's probably his player.
Well, the first one he might have accepted. The second one, I don't think he wanted it all. And here's Iafrate now with the puck, blasting it back to the Penguins net. The Capitals in penalty killing, 4th overall in the league. The first half of the season, they were just absolutely tremendous in penalty killing. They fell off, not considerably, but they were the #1 team for most of the year until about the halfway point, and then dropped off. Here's Ridley trying to wrist it out, and he will.
Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley have been killing penalties together for years, and they're excellent at it. They know where each other are all the time.
Well, here's another stat. The Penguins on the power play this year against the Capitals, 4 for 41 in 7 games. Not too impressive. Less than 10% on the conversion rate. And one of the reasons why the Capitals prevailed in 5 of the 7 meetings. Rick Tocchet, though, drags it in. Going over to Stevens, trying to make the play to Mullen. Can't get it through. The Capitals stop it again. Francis comes up in the play with 3:09 to go in penalty time, and the Penguins are offside.
They're having a tough time even gaining the Capital zone here.
And there isn't any question the Penguins will miss Mario Lemieux in this critical juncture of the game, because Lemieux is a guy that really makes things happen on the power play, but they'll have to be without him. I mean, they don't have any other choice. They'll have to try and convert and tie the game.
Yuri Hrdina did not play much on the power play this year for the Penguins, but he's had a strong game, and he's been effective out here, so Scotty Bowman's going to try him out on the right side. Brian Trottier up front with Yager also. Samuelson's on the back line.
And Scotty Bowman has a way of pushing the right buttons, and at times on hot hands and people that can work with it. Ulf Samuelsson and Shell Samuelsson, the 2-point men now for the Penguins, will distinguish both of those when they have the puck for you. And Pavanka and Dave Tippett, one of the premier penalty killers in the league, number 14, Dave Tippett. Calle Johansson, the Capitals won the draw. They get it back to the Penguin line. Ulf Samuelsson looks for Jaromir Jagr. Pavanka had it, but he gave it away to Shell Samuelsson. Driving to the Capital stripe, and he shoots it down the boards and around to the left wing corner. Kevin Hatcher with that long reach. Comes in, he runs into Trottier. Now the Penguins fire to the net. Block. Trottier gets it again. Behind the goal to Jaromir Jagr. For the right point to Shell Samuelsson. Samuelsson back to Jaromir. Jaromir backhanded towards the net. Blocked by Calle Johansson. And he'll sneak it up the night to the ice.
I don't think Jagr anticipated that Samuelsson was going to come back to him with that puck. He wasn't ready for that pass.
2.5 minutes left in penalty time to Paul McDermott. Game right now 2-1 Washington. And Yager again bursting back in, going the left wing to Trottier. Remember what we told you about Yager being a good third period player this year. And in his career, for that fact, in 2 years for the Penguins. Yager up the near boards, digs for it, can't come up with it though. Callie Johansson wrap it around the wood, and out it comes. Penguins will make another change now and bring the number 1 unit back on. With 2:08 to go, we're almost into that second penalty. Yager, good pass over to Stevens, breaks into the Capitals in a slam shot right over the glove of Donnie Beaupre. Now on the right wing boards, Rick Tocchet of the Penguins. Wrapping around to the near side, Yager trying to pin in and take the puck away from Ridley. Yager still fighting for it. Iafrate comes up with it. He is hit from behind by Kevin Stevens. Loose puck in front. Tocchet with the backhand and a good save by Beaupre. The rebound to the near corner, and Rick Tocchet has it. Tocchet along the near side, knocked down by Langway, but Yager's over to field it. Yager has it, turns around. He is hit from behind by Langway. Tocchet left point, trying to go to Francis. Stolen by Kelly Miller. Iafrate breaks the left wing. Miller has it. Couldn't get it through, and Murphy stops that play, and Tocchet winds it up back to the Capitals line. Joey Mullen comes over the boards with 1:25 to go. Ridley being pressured by Mullen. Mullen kicks it ahead. He's going to get to the puck on the Capitals off. Going for the net is Tocchet. Mullen goes behind the goal. Answers on him. Rides him hard into the corner. Great hockey right now. The Capitals trying to shut down the Penguins, and the Penguins fighting to try and tie the game. Francis off to Tocchet, going to Stevens, shoots it. Save made, rebound. Mullen's got it. Try to feather it in front for Murphy and can't get it to him. Stevens has it for the Penguins on the right wing side. Over to Rick Tocchet of Pittsburgh. Pressured from behind by Hatcher. Stevens has it. He tried to center it in front. He can't connect, and the Capitals clear. Still 50 seconds to go in the penalty to Paul McDermott. Penguins are throwing everything in the kitchen sink here at the Capitals, and they've responded so far. Murphy's pass on to Brian Trottier. 13:50 left in the third period. On to Joey Mullen. Looks to make a play. Drops it up to Stevens. He's trying to get it through. He gets it back, though, and shoots it, and Beaupre stops it. And Mullen trying to go to the right point. Nobody there. Murphy had cut inside, going to the slot. Mullen thought he would be there, and he wasn't. And Joey comes over, and Yager comes right back on for the Penguins. 20 seconds to go. And here comes Murphy. Making those legs work into the Capitals in. Drop it up to Trottier. Trottier taking in deep near corner behind the net. Around to Yager. It's a little too hard. Yarmer hit from behind by Cote, who shoots it up the wood, and the Capitals will kill it. They're going to kill the 2 penalties. A lot of times teams, after they kill the penalties, are a little vulnerable. Let's see what happens here. Yager got crunched by McDermott, who came out of the penalty box. But Stevens with the puck on the right side. Looking for an open man. Has Paul Stanton. Stanton whack at it. Comes up in the air. And delivered down to the near side. Paul McDermott again with the puck. McDermott on to Christie. Christie steps into Penguin territory. Lead it on the near side for Dale Hunter. Loose in front. There's a shot by McDermott. Stopped by Barrasso, who robbed him. He ought to get 5 to 10 for that save. McDermott was wide open in front, and Barrasso somehow kept the puck out of the net.
And I don't think he knew he did it. He was unconscious on that one. McDermott hit him with a puck.
It's Stanton now delivering the puck to Roberts. 12.5 to go in the third. Roberts fake a shot. Moves in on Hatcher. Goes to Tocchet. He shoots it. That'll miss the target. Stands over, but he can't get there at the right point. And it sails all the way back to Penguin real estate. Barrasso to Stanton. Look for Rick Tocchet. Tocchet, though, got it by Favanka. Here comes Herdina. Back with Bob Erie. 2-on-2. They break into the Capitals in with the pass for Erie's behind him. Capitals counterattack. Some great hockey in the win now. Here's Favanka. Moving back into the Penguins end. Put it in front of shot. Stopped by Barrasso again as Burry had that play right in front of the net, but Barrasso stopped him again. Now on the near side, Peter Bondra. Bondra to the near corner. Favanka centers in front. A shot off the glove of Barrasso as Bondra took a crack at it. Gordy Roberts to the Penguins. Here come the Penguins with their turn, but I think that line's out of gas. And Herdina, Erie, and settle down, and now Tocchet runs in with home man is knocked down. Capitals have it. Burry's put it in front. Blocked by Roberts. Put it back on the net. Barrasso stops that maneuver. Burry to the left one corner. The Capitals are a little tired right now with this line. Here comes Stevens on the rush. Going back to the Capitals stripe. And he can't get around Cote, who makes a good defensive play. Jennings now rambling back into the near side of the Capitals end. Shoots it right to the net. Beaupre jumps on one leg to make the save. On Grant Jennings, the Penguin defenseman. Jennings in deep. It squirts free to the right of the goal, and the Capitals come away with it. Alan May of Washington. Bruce ahead. Got it up the boards. He cuts around Mullen, moves to the net, pulls back, looking. Lost the puck, and Jennings shoots it back to center. Very few whistles. Mullen now going back into the Capital zone. Joey Mullen drop pass to Stevens is shot up the leg of Callie Johansson. Stevens trying to center anyway. On the play again, but he can't connect. And it's Iafrate turning out. Bruce just runs over Ulf Samuelson and decks him. Flattening back in the center ice area. And on the move will be Iafrate. He cuts into the Penguins' end. Looking for Alan May. Capitals lead 2-1 here in this third period. And Murphy, the Penguin defenseman, winds it back to center. Capitals set up shop, and Iafrate wheels it down the boards and in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Murphy of the Penguins finding Troy Loney. 2-1 Washington. Bob Airy with a good short little pass. And Trottier fires it. It went right through Beaupre over to the far corner. Dmitry Kristich, a great skater, finding Paul McDermott. They get into Penguin ice around Larry Murphy. Put it in front, but Kristich can't get there as Loney has him too well covered. Dale Hunter out of the corner. Look out here. Murphy worked it away from him, and Brian Trottier on the attack now with Bob Airy 2-on-2. Make it 3-on-2 as Ulf Samuelsson comes up on the right side of Loney. The Capitals get back. Here, Ulf Samuelsson put it around the net, but the Capitals intercept, and McDermott on right wing to Kristich. Giving the puck to Dale Hunter, a wrist shot. Hit the side of the Penguin goal. Kristich challenged in the corner by Ulf Samuelsson. Dale Hunter comes over. He gets it, passes it out to McDermott. He has nowhere to go with it. Goes back to the left point. Over to the left wing boards for Dale Hunter, and his pass broken up by Pittsburgh. Troy Loney to the right wing to Trottier. Trottier in the Capitals ice. A shot blocked by Calle Johansson. He has blocked about a half dozen shots here in this third period, Calle Johansson. He's played a strong game tonight for the Capitals. 9:20 left regulation. 2-1 Washington. And again, driven down the boards into Washington territory. Johansson's going to pick it up again. Looking left wing to Kelly Miller. Hard-fought game with these two teams. Teams with good records on the year. Finishing 2-3 in the Patrick division. And Yager finds Herdina, but the pass just hopped over his stick. Yager gets it back, though. Winds his way to the Capitals in. One-on-one against Langway. Langway poke check to the way. But here's Herdina off to Yager. Wheel and deal. Going to the slot. Looking for the puck, and they poke it away again. Yager, the Penguin forward, finding Shell Samuelsson. Looks right wing. Tockett's going to take it, and we get a whistle finally here. Catch your breath. Capitals 2, Penguins 1 here in the third. 8:36 left on the Penguins Hockey Network.
If your VCR is a pain to program, then get rid of it. And get the one from RCA with VCR Plus built in. To record a show, just look for the VCR Plus code in your TV listing. Then punch it in. It's as simple as that. So if you had it with your old VCR, get rid of it. And get the new one from RCA with VCR Plus built in.
Come see all the RCA home entertainment products at Highway Appliance in Dunleavy.
Mike, I was really impressed, have been impressed over the course of this period, particularly with the defensive play of some of the Capital forwards. Dmitry Kristich, a guy who's expected to provide a lot of offenses, played well in his own end, as has Mike Ridley. The Penguins have not been as effective at gaining that blue line. We said earlier in the game that they were doing a good job of making plays and gaining the blue line. The Capitals backing in, but they've been standing them up much better at their own blue line, and the Penguins, as a result, have not been able to generate as much offense. And another thing the Capitals have done pretty well is come out of their own end with the puck. They've been moving it out with authority.
Their defensemen have been very tough, though, in the slot area around that net and moving and deflecting the puck away. Also quickly getting it out of danger as the Penguins put the pressure on. And the Capitals with two good scoring chances, McDermott and Burridge, both robbed by Tom Barrasso. They repair the glass over next to the Capitals bench. That's how you do it. Just put a little tape on it, wind it up. Actually, it's the piece that holds it all together, and it must have sprung loose, and so they put some tape around it, patch it up, ready to go. Penguins have outshot the Capitals 32-25 here in this game. They trail 2-1. Strong goaltending either end of the rink. Don Beaupre of the Capitals and Tom Barrasso of Pittsburgh. And Stevens of the Penguins looking for the puck in his own end as we're back to action. Ronnie Francis there also. And hops in behind the net. Barrasso winding around the boards. They've got Stevens and Mullen on the wings for Ron Francis now to the Penguins. And Miller directs it behind the Penguin net. Dino Ciccarelli stood up neatly by defenseman Grant Jennings. Francis in putting pressure on the Capitals' Mike Ridley, and Joe Mullen gets to the puck. Couldn't get it out, though. Johansson in front has Ridley there, and he tried to make a pretty play. It went off Ridley's stick and carried him to the near corner. Francis and Ridley working each other over pretty good. Francis trying to hang right in on him like a blanket. Ciccarelli had that helmet knocked off first time in this game tonight. Now he takes a whack at Shell Samuelsson out of nowhere. and we'll be back. Well, Dino had his helmet come off. That's good for about 12, 15 times in a playoff series. We'll be back. 2-1 Washington on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You don't have to settle for another night in the gutter. Ladbrokes, for those who enjoy the fast lane.
Well, along with Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang here at the Camp Center in Landover, Maryland. Game 2 of this playoff series coming up on Tuesday night here. And then the series moves on to Pittsburgh for games 3 and 4. 2-1 Washington here in the third. Iafrate cuts around Bob Airy going to the slide. Iafrate on one leg fires it, and he missed the net. Went right to the goal mouth.
Caps are winning their share of faceoffs here in the third.
Airy again captures the puck, coming back on. He got the puck over to Trottier. Trottier put it between the circles, but Iafrate, good move to deny that. Counterattacks, good left wing pass. Bondra, Penguins in with good speed, has a man in front, but he can't get it through. And a defensive effort there by Ulf Samuelsson to block that attempted pass on the 2-on-1.
Remember we said earlier, Mike, about the Penguins forcing pucks into the slot and turning it over and having the defense jump up into play and getting good breaks up ice? That's exactly what they did right there. That happened a lot early in the season series between these two clubs.
Bob Airy again chases the puck. He gets it over to Trottier. The Penguin center iceman throw it in behind the net. Beaupre came out behind the goal, got it to Cote, and the Capitals with less than 7 minutes to go here in the third period, holding on to a 2-1 lead. John Bruce, who has the go-ahead goal, that came in the second period, unable to get around traffic, and the Penguins force him back to center. Christie over to Dale Hunter. Bruce is going to play the right wing on this line, so I have a feeling that Terry Murray saying, hey, maybe Bruce has a hot hand for me here, getting the go-ahead goal. So he puts him out on this right wing. Takes McDermott off, but also McDermott took the double minor, and so he may be sending a message there as I can't afford to take penalties now. And cleared long to the Capital zone, and back to get it will be Schlegel. And an icing call here against Pittsburgh. We'll return. Here it is 2-1 Washington on the Penguins Hockey Network.
What would you say if you could save? What would you say to hundreds in incentive savings on Toyota trucks? Or option package savings of $900 on 4Runner. Now you're talking. You bet. We're talking your best truck deal, plus no payments till July on any new Toyota. Now you're talking. We're talking great deals now on every new Toyota. So what do you say? Now you're talking. Come on into your Toyota dealer. We're talking deals and no monthly payments till July.
A little cat and mouse game going on between the coaches now as Scotty Bowman was able to get the defense he wanted out there, Samuelsson and Jennings against Kristich and Hunter and Druce. But then Terry Murray with the last change pulled him off the ice and came back out here with Dave Tippett's line with Alan May and Druce.
He's going to put Druce on the left wing here. And Druce seen a lot of ice time. Hatcher through traffic, shoots it. Barrasso stopped that. Dave Tippett trying to get his stick in there.
Another face-off win for the Caps.
They had good success in that game at Pittsburgh despite losing that one 4-1. They'll come into play, particularly late in a hockey game where those critical face-offs are so important to setting up an opportunity to try and come from behind and tie a game. Barrasso stares on. 6:22 left here in regulation. And Yuri Herdina puts it back into the near corner. Alan May winding around the far side, but Yager of the Penguins right there. He is hit from behind by John Druce, and now Tippett steps the body right into Yuri Herdina. Jennings of the Penguins on to Loney on the right wing to Yager. 1-on-2, and he can't get around the defenseman again. Johansson who makes another good play to poke it off his stick. Calle Johansson has again been very impressive here tonight for the Capitals. Jennings back to touch it, and we've got an icing call here as the Capitals are guilty of the icing infraction. And there's Jaromir Jagr, the 20-year-old sensation of the Penguins. 32 goals this season. Number 1 draft pick for the Penguins out of Gledno, Czechoslovakia.
Well, Yager, like a lot of Czechoslovakian hockey players, are upset right now with the money they're being paid. They want some more money, and I know that there's been a problem on the Capital side with Povanka and Bondra. They want to renegotiate their contract. They've got an agent named Rich Winter who's been making some noise with David Poile, and he's had to kind of smooth that over here. He even threatened to have those two guys not play in the playoffs, but Poile was able to work that out. These guys that are drafted like Yager in the first round in the top 4 signed a long contracts, and then he had a big year last year, and he'd like to see some more money come his way. Sign of the times.
Hatcher now dealing up the sideboards, and again Karaman back in front of the Penguin net. Shell Samuelson trying to find Yuri Herdina. Simulcast tonight here from the Cap Center. Game 1 of the semifinal playoff series in the Patrick division between the Penguins and Capitals. Capitals and Penguins, all the scoring came in the second period. Here's Tippett trying to cut to the net. Shoots it up the side of the goal. Barrasso watched it go in the air, and he got a stick on it, but not out. It comes around to John Bruce. Bruce turning, looking, shooting, and the stop is made by Barrasso off his stick. John Bruce has gotten that goal, and it just picked his game up about 2-full. Sometimes that'll happen. Things start going your way. Yager weaves through traffic. Jaromir Jagr glides his way to the Capitals end. Stopping, looking, he shoots the puck, and that went off target. Now grabbed by the Capitals, Dimitri Christie.
Penguins aren't hitting the net much lately either.
Murphy looking for Loney. And on the plate of Francis is 1-on-3. Drills it right to the goal. Beaupre's going to glove it. Leave it for Christie. Christie kind of poke checked off his stick. Penguins at the right point. Murphy over to Joe Mullen. To Francis looking for a man cutting for the net. And up in it was Francis by Kevin Hatcher, who just decked him. Now Stevens gets himself back up as McDermott hammered him. Christie's behind the net is hit by Stevens, and around the boards Larry Murphy. Murphy trying to find the puck, and McDermott back out here on this right wing now on this line with Christie and Dale Hunter. Ryan Langway with 4:25 to go in period number 3. And Langway puts it high in the air all the way to the Penguin zone, allowing the Capitals to make the change they want. And here are the Penguins cruising back. Off the body of Trottier, and it'll be a 2-line offside pass called against the Penguins. Time now becoming important. We'll be back in a moment. 4:15 left in regulation. 2-1 Caps on the Penguins Hockey Network.
These are the machines of the 90s.
Fuel injection, overhead cap, multi valve.
Today's high-tech engines demand high-tech protection. Kendall Motor Oil is specifically designed to provide the ultimate protection against heat and wear under the most extreme conditions. Don't take a chance with your high-tech engine. Use Kendall Motor Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Kendall Motor Oil, pour in the protection. Kendall, available at these locations.
Well, the Bruins finally get on the board. The third period, Adam Oates scores his 3-1 Buffalo lead in that game at Boston. The Rangers still with a 1-0 lead over New Jersey in the second. And also did of that, Montreal leading Hartford 1-0. The last score we had was in the second period. And here's the play now to the near boards of the Penguins in. Bob Airy flipped that one back to center, and it's cut off by Rod Langway. And Langway over to Dino Ciccarelli, and he'll drive it back to the Penguin goal. Roberts defensively, finding Airy. And Stanton now with a little room, goes up the left wing to Trottier. Try to put it back on that slot area. The Capitals again get a leg on that attempted pass. Talking behind the net, centers it out for Airy. Went right by him, who was up in it on the play by Kelly Miller. Mike Ridley pushing over to the right wing to Dino Ciccarelli, and he shoots it weakly to the Penguin goal. Barrasso around the glass. Trottier going to deflect off his wand, and it goes back all the way to the Capitals end. He just put that stick out and just found it right in midair and let it deflect out of the zone. Shell Samuelson, the Penguin defenseman, wind it down the boards and into the Capital zone. Sylvain Cote blasted around. Loney cut it off with his leg, and he can't make the play, and the Capitals start right back. Peter Bondra, he can fly into the Penguin zone, stopping, and shot the puck way wide of the net. In deep, though, Johansson puts it on the goal. That stopped, and here come the Penguins. Yager had it, but he had it poked away, and he forces it back to center anyway with 3 minutes left in regulation. 2-1 Capitals. Jennings hit by Pavanka. Here comes Yager back on a 2-on-1 with Herdina. Yager right side, Herdina looks to get it in front, trying to do it. He can't turn it over. Good play by Johansson again. He has been the star of the night for the Capitals defensively. Jennings in deep, going behind the net, and that's poked away over to the near boards. Loney of the Penguins trying to get to it. Loney digging for that puck. Off to Yager. Comes out of the corner. Had it stripped off his stick by Sylvain Cote. And Cote tap it ahead to Burridge on the right wing to Bondra. Trying to get around Jennings. He got the angle on him, taking him behind the net. Bondra keeps right on coming, though. To Pavanka. 2:23 to go in regulation. Around to Christie's left side of the Penguins end. Comes off those boards. Shoot it to the net. Barrasso sticks it away. Up to the left point, Iafrate of Washington. Cuts right down, moves in with a little room. Got around Loney. Looks in front. Bondra's there. He scores. Peter Bondra. Set up by Iafrate, and the Capitals get a big goal there and have a 3-1 lead.
Well, you could feel it coming because the Penguins weren't generating much offensively. The Caps were having it their own way in their own end. And eventually they made something happen in the offensive zone. And Iafrate, again, those offensive defensemen of the Capitals play a big role. And Iafrate made the play as he stepped in. He saw an opportunity and he walked in, threw it across. Barrasso was complaining about Bondra being in the crease. Bondra was all by himself. He stepped over. He stayed right at the edge of the crease and he scored the goal. He was all by himself, nobody around him, as he took that pass from Iafrate. It's one of the problems you have when you have those offensive defensemen who step into the play that way. They tend to distract the attention of the forwards who are supposed to be also worried about the guys down low or the defense down low. They looked the wrong way, and there wasn't any defenseman around checking out where Bondra was. Yager came back. He sagged back, but he got there late.
So the Capitals' Peter Bondra scores his second of the game. And the Capitals now lead 3-1. And it comes at a very crucial time of the game with 2:08 left. And the puck is played to the Penguins' end. Bouncing up to the right wing board. And after it, Bruce. Can't hold on to it. Iafrate has the only assist on the goal by Peter Bondra. Now Bruce again leads the parade back, going to the Penguins' end. Lost control of it to Wolf Samuelson, who's knocked down by Drews, but Ronnie Francis trying to get up into the cap zone. He can't make that play, and Drews runs into Samuelson. That's Wolf Samuelson. Kelly Miller on right wing. Dancing with it. Goes to Drews in front. His shot. Barrasso stopped him from 10 feet away. Now at the left point, Calle Johansson. Throw it into the corner to Dale Hunter. Hunter turned around, and now he whacks Larry Murphy, and Murphy comes back at him, and Hunter starts beating him up. They're after Murphy. They know how important he is to the Penguins. Murphy trying to get Hunter out of there, and Hunter just went right out of his way to get Larry Murphy.
Well, I told you, Mike, yesterday we were talking about this, about Murphy and how I thought they'd really go after him. This is the first opportunity. I said earlier about Dale Hunter. He won't really do this stuff unless he feels comfortable, either if his team's behind to get them going or if he knows he's got a comfortable lead in the situation, he'll try to do something like this just to do his job, really. And one of the goals, I'm sure, was to get after Larry Murphy. They know Murphy too well here in Washington.
1:21 left here in the third. Stevens barking at Hunter. This series got a long way to go. 3-1 Caps on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Ford or Chevy? Whose trucks are really winning?
Ford Explorer outsells Chevy Blazer. Ford Ranger dominates Chevy S10. And, of course, the newly designed Ford F-Series has been the best-selling full-size pickup truck for 14 years straight. So, in marketing terms, I'd say Ford trucks are kicking.
Now the well-equipped Ranger XLT is just $96.85, and $96.85 includes a Ford bedliner, but this special offer ends April 30th, so hurry to your neighborhood Ford dealer today.
Murphy and Hunter each pick up 5 for fighting. Well, Iafrate picked his spot and made it work as he set up Bondra for the third goal. And I remember the last time the Penguins played without Lemieux in the playoffs, it was Game 3 last year in the finals against the Minnesota North Stars, and I believe the same final score, or at least the score we have right now. I think it was a 3-1 final. The Penguins certainly handled themselves very well in that situation, played a strong game, but without Lemieux, the offense just wasn't there. And yet in every other game in that series, they were explosive offensively.
So timeout has been called. I think the Penguins have called a timeout. They're down by 2 here with 1:21 left. Or did they take a 30-second timeout? They might not have. There might have been some debris on the ice. Frazier now calling for people to return.
Now Boston has gotten a goal from Vladimir Ruzichka to make it 3-2 in that game against the Buffalo Sabres in the third period, that is. In the opening game of their series.
Well, here the Capitals have a 2-goal advantage, and they're in the driver's seat right now. The Caps are game 1 of this playoff series. They won the first game last year at Pittsburgh, and then the Penguins came back and won 4 straight to close it out. Shell Samuelson delivered left wing to Kevin Stevens, and he is hit by Iafrate, who put the hip into him, and the puck worked around on the boards. On the far side, Capitals gather it in. They get it up to center ice. Goes up the left point of the Penguins in. Calle Johansson with a blistering slap shot, and Barrasso's going to glove that. As we're now under a minute here left in the third period. Shell Samuelson and Dino Ciccarelli battling again. We'll be back. 3-1 Caps on the Penguins Hockey Network. Stanley Cup has come to the city of Pittsburgh. One space left on that Stanley Cup for the Penguin names to go on. The 1991 Stanley Cup champions, the Pittsburgh Penguins, have just left the building.
Remember all the great action of the Stanley Cup with the Penguins Yearbook. Available now through the mail or visit the Pens Pro Shop at the Civic Arena. Savor the silver.
Well, we've got a minute to go in regulation, and the face-on to the right of Barrasso, and Ridley and Francis match it up. This time, Ronnie Francis, the Penguin centerman, won it. Samuelson took it from him, and up the left wing it goes to Kevin Stevens. Stevens back in the Capitals territory, brings it around. Francis going for the net, trying to feather it through, and he can't get it by Beaupre as Hatcher ties up Francis now behind the goal, looking for the loose puck. And the right wing boards, goaltender pulled. The Penguins have pulled netminder Barrasso, and a shot by Shell Samuelson blocked. Coming off to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli coming up on the play, but now we've got Hatcher and Francis belting one another, and Tocchet comes over and whacks Hatcher, and here they go. Hatcher and Rick Tocchet battling one another. Rick Tocchet and Kevin Hatcher whacking away at one another. Tocchet coming with that left hand against Hatcher. Two heavyweights, and down they go.
Well, Kevin Hatcher, a guy who trained in the Kronk gym years ago in Detroit. He knows how to throw them, and everybody knows that Rick Tocchet can do the same. There was a penalty coming up against somebody there right before that fight broke out, too. Scary Frazier had his arm in the air. Those two squared off. Tippett was holding up one of the Penguins around the cage as that puck came across in front. And then Ronnie Francis got involved with Hatcher. That's when the penalty was called. I think Hatcher was going to pick up a penalty for retaliating against Ron Francis. And then Rick Tocchet came in and started throwing haymakers at Kevin Hatcher. And that helmet came off. Hatcher got a couple of right hands in. And then Tocchet with a good left. He nailed him. And then Hatcher, the bigger guy, was able to get him to the ice.
That left hand in hockey, if you it's part of the game still. That left hand is the toughest hand for people to stop. They're not a lefty will drive them crazy, and Tocchet can certainly use that.
Tocchet didn't have his gloves off yet when he started throwing them. Look at that helmet.
All right, penalties will be issued here.
2 minutes instigating, 5 minutes fighting. For Pittsburgh, number 10, Ron Francis. 2 minutes for slashing. Washington penalty number 4, Kevin Hatcher. 2 minutes for holding, 5 minutes for fighting.
But, you know, I'm telling you right now, first of all, Tocchet never dropped the gloves. Hatcher was the guy that threw the first punch. He got an instigating penalty. He didn't have his gloves off.
Although it did appear as though he fired a right hand, a haymaker with that glove still on. So it may have been just a matter of he figured it was time to start throwing them before he got them off. I don't know. He'd have to go back and look at it again. You may be right, though.
Well, I mean, he definitely wanted a part of it. I think he threw the first one. And I mean, it's usually, but Hatcher got his gloves off. Now, maybe he's better trained to do that. And then Tocchet had to get his helmet off, too. We've got 31 seconds left here in regulation. Francis and the Penguins get an extra minor penalty out of this. They're going to be short-handed again.
Well, that little play around the net when apparently Hatcher was holding Francis and Francis slashed him. Yeah, that's what happened. He slashed him right across the arm. And that's when Tocchet jumped in, grabbed Hatcher from behind.
No, Hatcher did throw the first punch his way out of that. And then Tocchet came back, and they ended up battling one another.
Well, I'll tell you something. I've been impressed with the physical nature of the Capitals here in the third period. They have hit hard in their own zone and really made the Penguins pay the price physically here tonight. They pounded them. Kevin Hatcher has been very physical, and they've been criticized for not being physical enough, but he's put some big hits on some guys in this hockey game. Not that the Penguins haven't tried to answer the bell, but Just the Capitals have had the edge in that department, and I think just when they gained the momentum and winning the faceoffs, they've won possession of the puck, and they've just made really have had pretty much control of this hockey game here in the third period.
McEachran serves the minor penalty. And we're going to go to game 2 with the Capitals leading this series 1-0 it appears, and Jennings up the right wing to Loney. He will shoot it in. Second game in the series over the past 4 or 5 years has been the key game in playoff series, particularly early on. Teams to go on and win the series, so that'll be a very big game for the Penguins. Time's going to run out here as Jennings has it with 6 seconds to go. Jennings will flip it up, and Sylvain Cote stopped it. Backpedaling, the Capitals win. That'll do it. Game 1 belongs to the Washington Capitals in this best-of-7 series. And the final score here tonight, the Capitals 3 and the Penguins 1, right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
If only there were 2. We wouldn't have to worry about the environment. We'd have a backup. But there is no second chance, which is why Giant Eagle offers an environmentally friendlier line of high-quality Green Mark products, like unbleached coffee filters and phosphate-free detergent. Each, in a small way, can help protect the one world we do have.
Get this close to the thrill of real life on the Discovery Channel. It's your world.
The Pittsburgh Penguins' 25th anniversary highlight video, now available for mail orders only. A colorful look at the club's first 25 years and the greatest moments of the 91-92 season. From tragedy to triumph, the dramatic story of the Penn season unfolds. Order now. Send $19.95 plus $3 shipping to Penguins Video Mail Order, the Civic Arena, Pittsburgh, PA 15219.
Well, the Iron Man of the game is brought to you by the Pittsburgh Brewing Company, and Peter Bundra has notched those honors here tonight as he picked up a pair of goals. And the opening one in the second period and added a big insurance goal late in the third. I afraid he had set him up. And Peter Bundra, who scores his first 2 playoff goals ever in the National Hockey League, leading the way for the Capitals and their 3-1 victory.
And the Penguins lose their 5th straight. First game of a playoff series. This is accustomed to that, losing that first game. Peter Bondra with a couple of goals in this game. Don Beaupre stopped 32 of 33 shots. He was particularly tough in the first period when the Penguins had their best scoring opportunities. Even though the Penguins outshot the Capitals 18-10 in that second period, I think their best scoring chances came in the first. When they were outshot 9-8, they were outshot 12-7 in the third. Capitals really took control in the third period, and the Penguins outshoot them 33-31, but lose the hockey game 3-1.
Montreal leads Hartford 2-0 that game in the third period at Montreal. Gilbert Dion has both goals with 4 minutes left in that game. And the Rangers were leading 1-0 in their contest, and the Bruins were trailing 3-1 in the third against Buffalo, the last scores that we had. The 3 stars here tonight, the number 3 star went to John Druce of the Caps, the number 2 star to Peter Bundra of the Capitals, and the number 1 star in tonight's game went to Don Beaupre of the Washington Capitals, their goaltender. Coming up on Tuesday, the Penguins will be in action against the same Washington team, game 2 of the series. And our broadcast time will begin at 7:30 right here on the KBL Sports Network and also on our Penguin Radio Network. They did not give us an attendance figure here tonight. It was not a sellout here in this building. And the final score again, the Capitals in game one take the lead against the Penguins. Washington 3 and Pittsburgh 1. So the Capitals lead the series 1-0. Now for Paul Steigerball, this is Mike Lang saying so long. And this is the Penguins Hockey Network.
Right wing to Keogh. Keogh has a man in front. He takes the shot. He scores! The Keogh scores. The Penguins win.
The Stanley Cup has come to the city of Pittsburgh. The 1991 Stanley Cup champions, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey was brought to you by Giant Eagle, where there's a lot you can feel good about. By Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. By the Appliance Store, with the lowest prices every day on the best selection of brand name merchandise. By Kendall Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. More in the protection. By Diet Pepsi. Chill out with Pepsi and the Penguin. Great new look, same great taste. By Mellon Bank and the people at Mellon Bank. Your why, we do our very best. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. By Classic Draft Light from Pittsburgh Brewing, because sometimes it takes a cold one to really heat things up. And by Ladbroke at the Meadows, another big league sport in town. Exit 8 off I-79. Be there and be a winner. The executive producer of Penguin Hockey is Bill Strong. This game has been produced and directed by Doug Kennedy. Remote facilities provided by Unitel Mobile Video. This has been a CAC Sports presentation.
Save of the game is brought to you by America's Place to Go for Fish. Go fish at Long John Silver's. Well, Tommy Barrasso and the Penguins just did not quite have enough tonight as the Capitals ended up winning, but Barrasso certainly a big save on Paul McDermott in that third period to keep the Penguins in it, and an opportunity to get back as he stopped the right winger of the Capitals from no more than 10 to 15 feet away in a big save. That's our save of the game, brought to you by Long John Silver's. Now the check of the game is brought to you by Dodge. For your great deal, see your nearby Dodge dealers, the advantage leaders. A lot of heavy checks thrown in this hockey game, and one of which was dished out by Ulf Samuelsson, the Penguin defenseman, nailing Alan May into the boards as he rocketed him into the wood. And there were a lot of checks thrown on both sides of the fence here tonight in this one in game number one. Don't forget, Stan Savern's Hockey Hotline is coming up next. Hope you'll stay on board as the Capitals capture game one.
At this time last year, the Penguins were in Game 2 of the Patrick Division Finals of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the opponent, the Washington Capitals. After losing the first game of the series, the Penguins came back to win 4 straight, limiting Washington to just 3 goals in the final 3 games. After winning that series, the Penguins moved on to defeat Boston, and then to a 6-game final series win over the Minnesota North Stars to secure the Stanley Cup. Now, a year later, the attention once again turns to the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the opponent will be none other than the Washington Capitals. But this is a different Capital team than last year. They're the NHL's second highest scoring team behind the Penguins, and it is a team that has outscored the Penguins 21-4 in the first 3 meetings of the year. However, the Penguins are the NHL's highest scoring team this year, and they've won 10 of their last 15 games, including a 4-1 win Wednesday night against the Caps that clinched 3rd place in the Patrick Division and forced a first-round playoff matchup between these two teams. Stay tuned as the Penguins and Caps face off in Game 1 at the Cap Center on Easter Sunday, and it's all coming up next. Right wing to Keogh. Keogh has a man in front. He takes the shot. He scores! The Keogh scores! The Penguins win!
The Stanley Cup has come to the city of Pittsburgh. The 1991 Stanley Cup champions, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh Penguin Hockey is brought to you by Giant Eagle, where there's a lot you can feel good about. By Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. By the Appliance Store, with the lowest prices every day on the best selection of brand name merchandise. By Kendall Oil, formulated to protect your high-tech engine. Pour in the protection. By Pepsi-Cola, chill out with Pepsi and the Penguins. Pepsi, great new look, same great taste. By Mellon Bank and the people at Mellon Bank. You're why we do our very best. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. By Classic Draft Light from Pittsburgh Brewing, because sometimes it takes a cold one to really heat things up. And by Ladbrokes Off-Track Betting, Wagering, and Dining Facilities in Newcastle, Greensburg, and Harmarville. We're the fast track to excitement.
It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. Tonight from the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland, the Penguins start the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Washington Capitals. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Cap Center. The Penguins begin the Stanley Cup playoffs here tonight. Semi-final round between the Penguins and the Washington Capitals. The Penguins last year defeated the Capitals, went on to win the Stanley Cup. But they begin this playoff season without their top scorer, the league's top scorer, Mario Lemieux, who is out of tonight's action with a bruised shoulder, Paul Steigerwald.
That's right, Mike, and the injury really happened in New Jersey. In the first game of the last 3 games of the regular season, Lemieux tried to catch himself as he fell against the boards using his elbow, and what he did was jam his arm up into his shoulder. So what he really has is like a collapsed shoulder, and it's a bruise on the very top here, on the top bone of his right shoulder, and it's something that's very painful for him. We went to the morning skate yesterday in Pittsburgh, and we were hoping that maybe there'd be some improvement here today at the morning skate, but that really wasn't the case. And we had a chance to talk to Mario in a very noisy Penguin locker room after the morning skate today.
Well, I think it's very difficult for everybody. I think everybody knows that I'll be back in a couple of days to help the team to win some hockey games and win the cup again. And if they can wait a couple of days, I'll be back.
So obviously, Scotty Bowman's going to have to make some adjustments in his lineup, and it looks as though that second-line center is all of a sudden the first-line center, Mike.
Well, depends. In all probability, you're going to start Ronnie Francis up at center ice with Kevin Stevens and Rick Tocchet. From that point on, Scotty Bowman, look for him to do a lot of different things during the course of this game. Let's look quickly, if we can, at the comparisons with these two teams as we go to this kind of summary view of the playoff battle.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, if you look at offense, I think normally you'd have to give the edge to the Penguins. But with Mario Lemieux out of the lineup, we're going to say it's even. We'll give the edge in defense to the Capitals with the high-scoring defenseman that they have. They accounted for 59 goals this past season during the regular year. Goaltending, you give the edge to the Penguins because Tom Barrasso has been able to take the Penguins to a Stanley Cup. I know there are a lot of people who would question Barrasso's ability in the playoffs. Why they still question him, I don't know, after what he did last year. Special teams, that's about even right now. The Caps certainly have had the better special teams over the course of the regular season, but the Penguins got a lot stronger at the end of the year in the penalty-killing department. Coaching goes to the Penguins with Scotty Bowman with 5 Stanley Cups under his belt. And intangibles, well, the Penguins have been there. They've won the Cup, and I think that gives them a lot of confidence.
All right, in just a moment, game 1 of this series between the Penguins and Capitals, and it's coming up right here on the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network.
The Rocky Mountains are picturesque, cold, and refreshing, and have positively, absolutely, totally nothing to do with beer or Pittsburgh. It's time to take action. It's time for you to write and star in your own beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101 now.
You're looking at the newest breakthrough in home heat pumps from Lennox, the Scroll Compressor. Quieter, greater comfort, increased energy savings. The exclusive Lennox Dimension heat pump with Scroll Compressor, the obvious choice for year-round comfort. Only at these Lennox dealers.
When quality and comfort are a must, you need Nagel Heating. Remember, must be a Lennox, has to be Nagel Heating. Call them today.
For professional installation and service of your comfort needs, you can trust Stanton Systems.
At Stanton's, the difference is know-how.
Aqua Rush, salty spray, hourglass, Jordan Kawasaki is where I want to be.
Introducing the hottest 2-seater watercraft on the water, the Kawasaki Jet Ski Super Sport. With a sleek V hull and a powerful 750 engine, the Super Sport is where you want to be.
Kawasaki, that's the good times.
unquote. A Dodge Ram pickup with a Magnum Cummins diesel has the power to out-torque, out-pull, just flat-out work Ford and Chevy diesels, unquote. Dodge, the most powerful line of trucks anywhere.
Get up to $2,000 cash back on select trucks during the Dodge Dare to Compare Challenge.
Penguin goaltender tonight will be Tom Barrasso.
A record of 25, 22, and 9, a 3.53 goals against average during the regular season. Last year, leading the Penguins to the Stanley Cup with a 2.60 goals against average, and he stopped 97 of 100 shots in the series against the Capitals last year.
Donnie Beaupre
for the Cap.
And Troy Loney begins at center ice between Rick Tocchet and Kevin Stevens for the Penguins. And the puck played into the Penguins here to begin this Stanley Cup playoff battle. Best of 7 series. The Penguins against the Capitals in the semifinal of the Patrick Division. And here's Dale Hunter, who starts the game for the Capitals. Dimitri Christie to Paul McDermott to work his wings, and it slams the Penguins in, and Ulf Samuelsson around the boards to Larry Murphy. Penguin defenseman bumped in the play by Hunter, but it comes through and all the way back to the Capital zone. Al Iafrate, number 34, the Capital defenseman, flies right by Kevin Stevens. Iafrate suited up, hit his own man. Dale Hunter, the Penguin steal. Stevens has it, looking for Looney, cutting down the spot, can't get it. Murphy around the net to Tocchet, a quick shot, a save made by Beaupre. First good scoring chance by either club, and Rick Tocchet had it, but Beaupre equal to the task to make a good stop on the Penguin right winger. Now the Penguins stuff it back into the Capitals end, and Kevin Stevens, who had a big series against the Capitals last year in the division finals, and the Penguins are offside. And he was on the left wing streaking in, but the Penguins offside on the play. We played 51 seconds and a good scoring chance by Rick Tocchet. Al Iafrate, who last year in that playoff series between the Penguins and Capitals had a strong first game. The Caps won the first game at Pittsburgh, but then lost 4 straight. And Iafrate was just magnificent that night.
Rick Tocchet with a good scoring opportunity. He just kind of steered that puck down low against Donnie Beaupre, and he was able to kind of scramble and make the save. Kerry Fraser, the referee tonight, and he was involved in a game here late in the season series between these two clubs here at the Cap Center, and the Penguins were pretty upset at the end of the game with the fact that the Caps did a lot of interfering. I think that could be an issue in this playoff series, the way the Caps like to interfere, hold up, and the Penguins might be talking to the supervisor of officials quite a bit throughout this series on that subject.
Penguins' second line right now will feature Brian Trottier with Jaromir Jagr and Phil Bourque holding the left wing. And here are the Capitals now with Mike Ridley carrying the puck into the Penguins in. Drop pass to Dino Ciccarelli. Shoots it. Save made Barrasso. The rebound, and he stops that one too. Penguins counterattack. They've got a good chance here. Jagr's open right wing, but they can't get the puck on the stick of Jennings, and the Capitals steal it away. They lose it. Trottier to the right wing. He's had some great seasons against the Capitals in playoff competition when he was with the New York Islanders. Brian Trottier, the Penguin center iceman, out here wearing the C as Mario Lemieux is out of the Penguin lineup with a bruised shoulder. And here's Kelly Miller on the attack to the Penguins end. Drop it off left side over to Ciccarelli. Good pass to Sylvain Cote. Push it towards the net. It hit Barrasso and hit the post to the left of the Penguin net as Big Ben struck one. And the Penguins get a break there. Good scoring chances by both clubs early on. Phil Bourque cruises in. 2 high-scoring units here. Penguins number 1 overall in the National Hockey League this year with 343 goals, and the Capitals had 330. A lot of scoring punch. And Jagr now in the far corner digging for a Capital zone. Trying to cycle in there, as they call it, when lines work that way. He along with Trottier, they work it free up the right wing boards, and Bob Airy comes over to capture it right point, and the Capitals in. Shoot it towards the net. Blocked by Brad Slagle, the rookie defenseman for the Capitals. And Slagle hustles up to center, and he will drill it up into the Penguin zone. 2:15 into the first period. No score here in Washington. The Penguins and the Capitals. Bondra behind the Penguin net. Peter Bondra laid over to the left side, and a shot by Cote misses the Penguin goal. Here to the near boards. Randy Burridge. Burridge sweeping in behind the Penguin cage. Randy Burridge, who was out with a knee injury, came back to play the final regular season game for the Capitals against Pittsburgh. He's not quite 100%, but he's out here and he's had a big year, the former Boston Bruin. And around the boards, Barrasso has lost his goaltender stick. Left point of the Penguins in. Held in behind the net. Bondra, remember, Barrasso does not have his blade, and the Penguins chop it away to the near side. Bob Airy might be wise to ice it here for the Penguins, and he flips it up in the air. Gets it out of danger. Iafrate trying to work it right back in. But the Capitals a tire crew, too, and allowing Barrasso to get that stick again. Here's the Pens. Racing back, and Francis with a long slab shot from the blue line. Missed the net. And around the center ice, it goes to Larry Murphy, the former Capital. Murphy right to the Capital zone. Flip it up down the left wing corner. Into the near side, Stevens went in. Iafrate pins him against the glass and off the puck. And it comes through to center ice. Ulf Samuelsson paired out here with Larry Murphy. Iafrate, one of the great skaters in this game. The Capital defenseman gave it away to Larry Murphy and on to Troy Loney. Loney again playing center ice on this line with Rick Tocchet and Kevin Stevens. To the right wing, Dimitri Christie. Christie shooted away to the left wing corner. What Scotty Bowman wanted to do here is try and match Loney up against the Capitals' Dale Hunter. And here on the left wing, Stevens now cutting back into the Capitals in. Iafrate hits him heavily. Langway defensively for the Capitals. And he is their captain, Langway. Perennial all-star in this league. Up the right wing to Christie, and the left side pass to Paul McDermott, one of the better body checkers in the National Hockey League. On to Iafrate, shooter deflected right in, and Barrasso easily makes that save. McDermott swinging out Christie's chair, a shot. Barrasso says no again. And now they jam it up in front of that net, and Stevens is getting whacked at from behind. The Penguin left winger, Iafrate in, and Christie. And they all jam it up. Tommy Barrasso making it look easy here in the early going against the Capitals. He looks very confident right now.
Well, Dmitry Kristich is one guy the Penguins are very concerned about because he did have a great year for the Capitals in the regular season with 36 goals, and they're going to hit him early here and try to get him off his game.
We'll be back. There is no score here at the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Behold the passion and pageantry of the noble warrior within. Armed with a Snapper recycling mulcher mower with its 2x2 split level blade. 2 blades for the way up, 2 blades for the way down.
Their 2x2 split level blade cuts every blade of grass who knows how many times. It's also handy that I don't have to take the time to bag. Looks like I did.
Snapper.
See these Snapper dealers, Bill's Mower Sales and Service, Shears Garage, Mountaintop True Value.
Well, Iafrate coming in deep, throwing it in front, and Dale Hunter steered it to the net. Barrasso pushed it away, but the Caps were able to gain control of the puck behind the net. And a pass in the slot to Dmitry Kristich. He fanned on the shot. It was partially deflected by Stevens, and Barrasso scrambling out on his knees to make the save.
Now Larry Murphy, the Penguin blue liner, around the boards and up to center, and Calle Johansson settles it over to Kevin Hatcher. Johansson and Hatcher paired up defensively for Terry Murray, the coach of the Washington Capitals, who has done a tremendous job this year leading the Capitals to second place, the second best record overall in the National Hockey League behind the New York Rangers. Larry Murphy deal it up the left wing to Bob Airy, and Airy scoots to the Capital line on the right side. Good drop pass to Trottier. Where's he going to go with it? Put it back in front of Beaupre. Now he stopped it, but he's run into by Bob Airy, and there'll be a penalty coming up here. Beaupre whacking away at Airy. We may get an interference call and a roughing call. Now that's going to be against the Penguins only, and here are the Capitals pulling Beaupre. Bob Airy ran into him, and the Penguins will be shorthanded. They must gain possession, and they will. Bob Airy went in the net and knocked over Beaupre. And now Dino Ciccarelli coming after Bob Airy. But Beaupre used the right hand and just trying to clear him out of there, and he will not be penalized. We'll return. The Capitals have the first chance of the night with a man advantage. No score on the Penguins Hockey Network.
While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a way to consolidate all your bills and loans. Home equity loans from Mellon. While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a college education. Home equity loans from Mellon.
Well, Bob Airy with a drop pass to Trottier, and he just kind of feathered that puck to the net, hoping to time it just right so that Beaupre would make the save and Airy might get the rebound. But Airy instead ran right over Beaupre, and he picks up the charging penalty, and so the Capitals will have the first power play opportunity of the series. Beaupre took a shot with that left-handed Bob Airy in the net, but did not get a penalty for that. And,
well, this Washington power play, which finished second overall in the National Hockey League at 22.3%. The Penguins penalty killing 15th overall. And this is where Mario Lemieux is very important to the Penguins. Lemieux, a tremendous penalty killer for the Pens and a dangerous threat shorthanded, but he's not in the Penguin lineup. And the Capitals will try and exploit that. The Penguin penalty killing this season when Lemieux has not been in there is around 74%, which is very, very low. So there's a big plus for the opposition when Lemieux is not around. But here's Mullen, right side of the Caps in and shooting the puck. That was blocked. And controlled now by the Washington Capitals, Dmitry Kristich. Both these teams can score shorthanded, though. The Penguins had 16 shorthanded goals in the regular season. The Capitals had 14, and the puck played to the Penguin net. Barrasso's going to scoop it up, so that could be a factor also in this series. Not to get too overconfident, because both these clubs can put it in the net, as we told you earlier, with the goals that they've scored. Terry Murray.
He's done a good job with the Capitals. He's changed their thinking quite a bit. I think his brother Brian Murray wanted to go to a more offensive system right before he was fired and replaced by Terry, but he just didn't have the personnel to do it. But Murray, since seeing last year that the Capitals really had trouble scoring goals late in the season in the playoffs, they had a lot of chances against Pittsburgh but couldn't finish. And they've been able to find that scoring touch by just concentrating more on offense throughout the course of the regular season. It really started right from the beginning of the regular season.
Hunter, Pavanka, and Kristich up front for the Capitals, and they work it down deep into the near corner to Hunter. That's where he's so dangerous, right around that net as he flips it up, and denied by the Penguins. Dale Hunter is one of the better cornermen, if you will, in the National Hockey League at working the puck out of the corner, avoiding that defenseman to pin him in, and then making those quick, sharp passes around the edge of the crease that result in goals. And now Iafrate weave his way towards the Penguin line. Lost it. Francis knocks it ahead of Joey Mullen. Back shorthanded to the Capitals line. Joey Mullen turned around, looks for Ron Francis. And Francis will feed it back to his own blue line down to Shell Samuelson, the Penguin defenseman. On to Grant Jennings. Cut around Iafrate. Jennings comes in and pushes the puck into the near corner. Time left from the penalty to Bob Airy. 46 seconds, no score, first period. In game one of this semifinal Patrick Division playoff game, and Sylvain Cote drags it up to center for the Capitals. He'll rip it to the Penguins in. It's stopped by Barrasso, and he can move that puck away, but if he did, it comes right to a Capital, put in behind the net of Dino Ciccarelli. Around to Michael Pavanka. Pavanka right point to Calle Johansson of Washington. To Pavanka halfway up near side. In front, Ciccarelli's there. Shooting. Barrasso stops him right into front. Now Ridley with the puck out in front. Pavanka shooting again, and Barrasso juggles it, makes the save. Not out. Johansson, center point. Over around behind the goal. It comes to Pavanka. Around near side to Ridley. Ridley battling forward. It comes off behind the net to Phil Bourque. Bourque is hit by Ciccarelli, or Ciccarelli hit by Bourque, who got a stick up into him, and Ciccarelli grabs his nose. Trying to stop play and draw a penalty there, but talking to the Penguins. Swing it to the blue line, but not out. Capitals trying to hold it in. They can't. Penalties over to Bob Airy, and the Penguins have killed the first penalty of the night against them.
Tremendous goaltending by Barrasso to help them do it. You got to have that when you're killing penalties, especially in the playoffs.
Out to center, Ciccarelli whacks it up into the air, and he screams at referee Frazier. He's going to get a penalty for it. He screamed at Frazier as he whacked the puck right out of the air into the crowd. Wanted the penalty against Phil Bourque, and the Penguins already have Dino Ciccarelli riled up early in this game. We'll be back in a moment. Penguins will have the turkey on the table. They get their chance now in the power play, and we'll be back on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Recently, we asked you to give your Giant Eagle receipts to schools so they could redeem them for free Apple computers. The response has been overwhelming. But remember, all receipts must be turned into your local school by Saturday, April 25th. So keep up the good work. Apples for Students from Giant Eagle. It's working.
Phil Bourque getting the stick up into the face of Dino Ciccarelli, knocking his helmet up, and be catching him a little bit on the forehead also with a blade of that stick.
And frankly, I don't know. It did not appear that Kerry Frazier saw the play. And one of the linesmen, Ciccarelli, checked his left eye. It appears to be cut on the eyelid, but he went screaming to Frazier, knocked the puck out of the air as it came out, and then Frazier's going to send him off here. And I believe it'll be a 2-minute minor penalty, probably for unsportsmanlike conduct. On the Penguin power play, if this is the case, was 4th overall in the National Hockey League this year at 21.5%. And the discussion continuing here between Langway, the Capitals captain, Brian Trottier, the Pens head man right now on the ice with Lemieux out, and Kerry Frazier. Troy Loney's also on for the Pens. They have not posted it. Yes, they do. Now they put a 2-minute minor up to Dino Ciccarelli.
5 minutes for high sticking and a game misconduct. The Capitals, number 22, Dino Ciccarelli, 2 minutes on sportsmanlike conduct.
Well, Bourque gets a game misconduct and a 5-minute major for high sticking. I don't know who made the call. Frazier apparently had to go to the linesman to help out because he was not going to make that call. I mean, this was way after it happened. The play had been stopped, and Ciccarelli knocked it out of the air. So he went to his linesman apparently for help on a major penalty call. Pateman talking to Loney. Why wouldn't the linesman have gone over to him immediately and told him that situation? I don't know. But the Penguins will come out of this on the shorthanded end of it. Instead of having a power play, there's no question Bourque's stick came up.
They caught him in the eye. They cut him right underneath the left eyebrow. And he pulls his hand away from his face. You can see the little cut over his eye. See it right there on the eyelid? And that was the cut that got him the 5-minute major in the game misconduct.
Sean McEachran will serve the major penalty issue to Phil Bourque, the Penguin rookie. So Scotty Bowman, the Penguin interim coach, will replace Bob Johnson, the Badger, who paced the way to the Penguins' first Stanley Cup win ever last year. And, of course, passed away tragically with brain cancer in November. And Stevens short coming to the Capitals end, comes down, a wrist one right to the net. That stopped. They'll play right now at 4 aside, and the Capitals will get a major penalty and a power play opportunity for 3 full minutes. And the right wing Ridley to the Penguins zone, trying to cut in and off Samuelson. Can't make that play, and the Penguins again feed it off the boards and back down to Washington territory. Rod Langway trying to find somebody open, and he looks for Iafrate. Iafrate chopped at it. They got it to the Penguin zone. Murphy hurries over. And the Penguin defenseman comes up on the play to the Capitals line down the left wing, looking. Feed it across in front. It's deflected, and Beaupre just made that save. It came off a stick and almost got by Donnie Beaupre. Just reached with his right arm to make the stop on Larry Murphy. Now counterattacking the Capitals, and a pass ahead to the left wing to Sylvain Cote. Cote of Washington turned around by Larry Murphy. And Alf Samuelson deals it off the sideboards after Francis. Man open right wing Stevens. Can't get it through to him and hit the leg of John Bruce. Capitals step right back into the Penguin zone. And pretty wide open game so far with these two clubs. Here's Johansson shooting. Barrasso just gloves it right out of the air and holds on. Tommy, you're seeing that puck right now in the early going like it's a watermelon. I mean, Johansson drilled that one from 35 with everything he had, and Barrasso just reached up as though it was floating in on him.
Well, with Lemieux out of the lineup, that takes some of the pressure off the Capitals goaltender, obviously, Don Beaupre, and puts a little bit more on Tom Barrasso, because you got to figure the Penguins aren't going to be prone to score as many goals as they normally would score, and that's just going to make it that much tougher for Barrasso to make sure that he holds the offense of the Capitals in check. He has been sharp here, I'll tell you.
In the series last year against the Capitals, we told you the Caps won game 1, and the Penguins then came back and won 4 straight. The 2 games played here at the Cap Center, Barrasso was absolutely magnificent and really the key to the series win for the Penguins, and he picks up right where he left off last year, at least in the early part of this game. Donnie Beaupre, his career record in the playoffs.
And he went to the Stanley Cup Finals way back in 1981 against Brian Trottier's New York Islanders.
This face-off, Paul Stanton defensively out with Gordy Roberts. The Penguins again at 4 aside right now with Yager and Yuri Hrdina. They scoot up the Capitals line. No score first period. Yager to the right side. Feed it in front for Hrdina. Went by. Hrdina will settle it. Now get it to Yager in front of the net. A backhander, and he just missed on the post to the right side of Donnie Beaupre. Both Yager and Hrdina very, very good backhanded shooters. One of the best the Penguins have, and that's that Czechoslovakian influence where they learn to really work the puck in all ways. And Stanton leads the rush back for the Penguins. In 21 seconds, the Capitals will start their power play and have a major penalty to work with. And of course, they'll have 3 full minutes to score as many times as they can put it in the net on the major penalty to Phil Bourque. Turned back in behind the Pittsburgh goal. Shell Samuelson around. Yager lets it deflect off his stick and ahead now to the Capitals line. All right, in 3 seconds, Ciccarelli will come back on. We'll see if he'll join the power play. And he does come on the ice, and the Capitals have the man advantage. Mike Ridley coming up. Scoreless still in the first period. Trottier lost the puck. It goes into the Penguins' end. Bondra, though, had it chopped away by Joe Mullen, the Penguin fiery right winger. Joey Mullen, one of the better defensive players on this Penguin team, and a tremendous penalty killer. Outlet pass to the right wing to Ridley. Mike Ridley of Washington goes back to center circle. Now starts the Penguin line. The right wing, a good pass to Bonner. Stops, breaks on. He tried to shoot it, but he was checked by Trottier. And Shell Samuelson winded around the boards, and out it goes.
A big play by Shell there to get the good authority on that clearing maneuver and make sure it got up around the board so they couldn't hold it in. That's going to be Samuelson's strength for the Penguins, is on the penalty killing unit with that long reach that he has and the range that he has with those long legs.
Iafrate now winds it back into the left wing corner of the Penguin zone and delivered off the glass and into the seats here at the Cap Center.
Well, there's one thing we noticed last year in the playoffs, Mike. It was that penalty killing gets stronger at playoff competition. I'm not sure why that is, but it just seems as though the power play loses a little bit in the postseason.
Well, this has probably been the best year in, say, the last 15 for penalty killing overall in the National Hockey League. The numbers on the power play, 22.5%. Is the lowest that I can recall in many, many years as far as leading the National Hockey League in that department. In the Islander days, in their heyday, they were around 29 to 30% on the conversion rate in the regular season. They had a tremendous power play, but with the scouting now, with the satellites and the video and everybody peering in at you in every game, that has changed dramatically, and the penalty killing is much, much better. And here's Hatcher now. The Capital defenseman fell down, but Dale Hunter grabs the puck. Hunter, number 32, the all-time penalty minute leader in playoff competition of the National Hockey League. Number 32, Dale Hunter. Over 500 minutes in penalty time. Worked around to the far side of the Penguins end. Looking for it to be Kevin Hatcher. Put it between the circles, and Grant Jennings stops it there. On the left wing to Bob Airy. Harry now stopping and shoots it lazily to the Capital zone. Camps again on up in the play. Johansson to the right wing to Dimitri Kristich. He winds his way to the Penguins end. Drop pass back to Dale Hunter. Hunter moves in. His wrist shot blocked. The Penguins have a chance. Pocket was knocked down. And here comes a play back 2-on-2. Larry Murphy on the left wing to Bob Harry. Harry over to Murphy. Murphy stops on the near boys. And shoot it weakly to the net. Beaupre's going to stop that. And on the attack, the Capitals, who have outshot the Penguins 7-3 in the early going, can't get into the Penguin zone.
When Tocchet was knocked down, he got up shaking his head and holding his face, trying to shake it off afterwards. Dale Hunter caught him behind the play and knocked him to the ice. Now he goes to the bench.
Well, he has a broken jaw. Wearing a protective mask is Rick Tocchet, the Penguin right winger. And the Penguins again steer it in with a minute to go now in the penalty to Phil Bourque, the Penguin left winger, who was ejected from this game on a game misconduct for a high-sticking major penalty for clipping Dino Ciccarelli of the Capitals. And Randy Burry's trying to get in, and Stanton stops that attack again. The Capital fans upset with the play of their home team. And that is one of the things. If the Penguins can take that away in this first period, they've got a good shot here against the Capitals tonight. This crowd not too favorable right now in response to the Capitals play. And around to the left wing corner, Randy Burridge comes in. Stanton after for the Penguins. Stanton looking. He shoots it off the glass around to Loney, and he gets it up to the blue line, but not out now. He does, and he kicked it free. Loney very good on the boards. Killing the penalty for the Penguins. Mullins over trying to reach in. 17 to go. And the Penguins again driving it for the Capitals into the ice surface.
And that play by Loney is what's kept him in the National Hockey League. His ability to dig along the boards and make the big plays in his own end to get the puck out.
Final rush in. John Drews to Ciccarelli. Has some room. Penguins in. And he tried to shoot it in. Checked from behind neatly by Ronnie Francis in the last second. Around to the right point. Iafrate weakly sent it to the circle. And the Penguins have it. Francis with the puck. On the ice comes McEachran. And here come the Penguins now 3-on-3. Larry Murphy to the Capitals end. Shoot it in front of the net. Slagle trying to clear it away. And Sean McEachran stays on the play. He goes behind the Capital goal, but he forgot the puck. Now it's a stick tied up. Reaches in, trying to get back, and the Capital steal. And Brad Slagle again sneaks it back to center. Kevin Stevens intercepts. Stevens right back into the Capital zone. He is pushed against the boards by Slagle, but Tocchet finds the biscuit. Over to Stevens. Looks for Murphy. Lost the puck. Here's Ciccarelli back on the right wing for the Capitals. Coming to the Penguin line. Dino Ciccarelli in front. Got a man there. Kelly Miller went for the net, but he couldn't take the pass. Kelly Miller after it, left wing boards. On to John Drews of Washington, who a couple of years ago had a tremendous playoff year for the Capitals. He's out of the corner now. It's Alan May trying to get that puck in behind the net. Dave Tippett working out here. Alan May again putting pressure in the Penguin zone. Kelly Miller turns. He whistles it in front. Murphy blocked it. Picked up by Tippett. His shot. And that's stopped by Trottier, the Penguin center iceman. Deal with the head to center. Both Stevens and Stevens and Tocchet on the front line, and now Trottier is going to come off, and let's see who comes over. Herdina is going to come on the center of this unit. No score first period, 6:41 left, and Calle Johansson settles in for the Capitals, finding Dale Hunter. Herdina slowed him down. Samuelson lines him up and crunches him with a booming check. Stevens of the Penguins looking for it. Hunter steps right back into Wolf Samuelson. And the Penguins have the puck, and Herdina races back into the Capitals into Stevens. Right side to Yager. Yager trying to feed it in front. It comes off to Herdina. Might get a chance on the backhander. Let it go, and a good save by Beaupre. And Herdina loves to use that backhand shot, and Beaupre stopped him with the right pad. Now Jennings again with the puck. Lost to the Capitals, Calle Johansson, and he'll shoot it down the boards into the Penguins' end. Barrasso, the Penguin goaltender, wind it back to center, and Johansson shoots it in. The Penguins have gotten good penalty killing here in this game so far. 5 minutes of killing penalties. And a steal by Yager to the right wing. He can turn Johansson around. Going towards that net. Yager comes in, but he couldn't shoot it with good authority. Behind the net, here's a play in front. The Penguins can't put it in. As right in front, Bob Airy was knocked down by Dale Hunter. Play goes the other way, and on back down the boards into the Penguin zone. Jennings again defensively. Hustles over to get it to Airy. Back into his own end to Shell Samuelson. And on the play, the Penguins fly now. Airy on the right wing. Francis trails the play. Goes to it. He's right there. Makes a shot. Beaupre stops him. And the puck back out. Freed. Open man Roberts shooting, but he missed the goal. Good goaltending either end of the rink by Beaupre and Barrasso here in this first period. Pavanka trying to race up. What a pretty pass that Airy made over to Ronnie Francis. He made the move, but Beaupre made a better save on number 10, Ron Francis. Now Mullen guns his way back into the Capitals end. The right side to Ron Francis. Francis put it in front. Nobody able to get to it. Joey Mullen feed it in the backhand behind the net. Francis over to Troy Loney. Troy Loney and Iafrate now battle one another in the corner on the right side of the Capital zone. Loney trying to dig it free and make a play. Mullen hangs out in front of that net. They can't get it to him, though, and it comes around all the way back to the red line area. Capitals pick it up. Randy Burridge Over to Iafrate. Weave his way in. A backhand shot, and Roberts deflected that one into the seats. We'll be back. No score. First period on the Penguins Hockey Network.
The sun, the surf, the sand, the babes, the beach. The truth, it's 3,000 miles away and has nothing to do with Pittsburgh or beer. It's time to take action. It's time for you to write and star in your own beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101. Now.
Bob Airy with a good opportunity. What started this play was Airy going back to Samuelson back in his own end, and he made a good sharp pass out in center to Francis, who went to Airy, back to Francis as he cut to the net. He tried to deke Beaupre. Not a bad decision there, but he just didn't get the puck up enough, and then Beaupre was able to reach out with that stick glove and the stick and just push that puck away. Francis got a little in too deep and couldn't get the leverage he wanted on the shot as he went to Beaupre's right.
Face off in the Penguins end to the right of Tom Barrasso. Well, the series in the Patrick, New Jersey's at the Rangers tonight in their first game. And over in the Adams Division, 2 battles, Buffalo at Boston and Hartford at Montreal to begin their playoff series. All of them best of 7. And Trontier carries it back down the right wing as the Penguins shot it back into the far corner. Stevens and Tocchet work the wings now for Brian Trontier as Scotty Bowman using another center here on this line. He's going to mix them up. Mike Ridley shoot it down the boards, and it sails back into Penguin real estate. All Samuelson with Ciccarelli whacking him, and he slams him hard against the board. Dino Ciccarelli knocking Samuelson against the wood. Delivered back into Capitals ice. Ron Langway over to Mike Ridley. He pulls back. Ridley bumped by Trottier, but Langway able to wrist it up. Hit his own bench. It hit Dave Tippett's helmet. We'll return in a moment. No score. 4:03 left in the first on the Penguins Hockey Network.
The Penn's Pro Shops in South Hills Village and Century 3 Mall, featuring an exclusive line of 25th anniversary merchandise. To order by phone, call 642-2019.
Savor the silver.
Well, Dino Ciccarelli, not one of the bigger players in the league, 5'10", 170 pounds, 75 pounds, and he found a good opportunity to ride Shel Samuelson right into your living room. I said Shell, I meant Ulf. Ulfie Samuelson with the visor on to protect his face as it went smashing into that glass.
Yuri Herdina with Bob Airy and Jaromir Jagr now. Jagr, who last year in the playoffs had 3 goals and 13 points, the top rookie scorer among everybody. But Jagr's a player that had a pair of goals in the last game of the regular season against the Capitals, and he's capable at any time of really just turning it on, particularly in third periods of games where he is exceptionally strong. And here's a check by Tippett on Shel Samuelson, but Bob Airy brings the puck back into the Capitals' end. Airy shooting, and Beaupre kicks out away. On the rebound, right to Alamay of the Capitals. And Alamay out the center to Dave Tippett, up the right wing to John Drews. Drews trying to make a move on Shel Samuelson, gets in, his backhander, Barrasso kicking away easily with a left pad. Tommy again is on the top of his game. Beaupre playing well also for the Capitals. Left wing to Bob Airy. Airy coming down, and Iafrate stops him. Jagr reaches in, hit from behind by Calle Johansson. Jagr turns around, trying to get to the puck, and he's tied up in that corner. Now here on the near side, Roberts again battling for it. Herdina of the Penguins, and it's cleared free and back to center. There was a stretch during the season where the Penguins had a lot of problems with referees in this league. And over an incident where Jaromir Jagr in this building was suspended for 10 games after bumping Ron Hogarth, and the Penguins then had a lot of problems even after that. And they've settled down a little bit as far as taking penalties and getting involved with the officials. And here on the right wing is Francis now, getting the puck over to Paul Stanton, intercepted neatly by Slagle, but he can't clear it out. Finally, Bondra will. Peter Bondra of the Cap. Pavanka with Burridge and Bondra, and Bondra to the right wing. Goes into Penguin territory, left it on the near boards. The Penguins intercept, and here's Joe Mullen. Going back to Ronnie Francis. He glides his way to the Capitals' end. Drop pass to Stanton. Here he comes with a wrist shot, and Beaupre made that stick save. Off the corner, Ronnie Francis trying to pull around the Czechoslovakia. Does. Goes to Stanton. Shoot it weakly wide of the net. And Troy Loney hustles over. The Penguin left winger can't get it, but Mullen will. He blasts one off the skate of goaltender Beaupre. Well, the Penguins were being outshot heavily in the early going, but they've rallied here and have had some good scoring chances against Beaupre. No score, first period, 2:03 left. And Cote sneaking around to the far boards. Randy Burridge of Washington. Unable to clear. Good play by Murphy to get possession of it and keep the puck. Murphy going behind the net. Trottier trying to set up in front. Cote peers at him. And Murphy's going to be held against the boards by Burridge and will stop the play. 1:44 to go in the first period. Pittsburgh and Washington scoreless here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Quote, a new optional Magnum V8 in a Dodge Ram half-ton, out-hauls and out-pulls Ford and Chevy 5-liter V8s. Unquote. Dodge, the most powerful line of trucks anywhere.
Get up to $2,000 cash back on select trucks during the Dodge Dare to Compare Challenge.
No, with Lemieux out of the lineup, Scotty Bowman has to kind of juggle his players around to try to get players on the ice together who complement each other well. And that's why you'll see him with Yager and Herdina together at times, Trottier and Herdina together at times, Francis and Mullen playing together, and then Francis on the top line. He's really got to move things around to get the most out of everybody he's got on the ice. Francis and Mullen played together quite a bit last year in the playoffs. It was Francis, Mullen, and Stevens as the Penguins' second line, if you will, and they were spectacular in the playoffs. And Trottier this year stepped in for Mario Lemieux and did a good job when Lemieux was out of the lineup at playing on that top line. And that's where he is right now with Tocchet and Stevens. But then at other times you'll see Trottier playing alongside of Yager because for much of last season and part of this season, Yager and Trottier have complemented each other very well.
Yeah, Trottier won the draw, and he pulls it up into the Capitals' end, shooting wide of the net, near corner. Rick Tocchet in battling for possession. Tocchet trying to overpower Langway. He's knocked down on the play, and Beaupre gets the puck, and it comes back in behind the net. Christich is hammered. But Dale Hunter takes the puck, and he'll swing it ahead to center to Al Iafrate. Iafrate moving up to the Penguins' end. Christich open right wing. He doesn't go to him. Samuelson blocked the attempted shot by Iafrate. McDermott on the right wing. Goes cross rink to Dale Hunter. A slap shot right on Barrasso. And again, he makes the save. Dale Hunter trying to golf it over to the left point. Does. The Calle Johansson of the Caps. Shooting it deflected. Look out. Kicked out by the Capitals, but it went behind the net. And Murphy is hammered on a check between two Capitals where the Penguins have the puck. Two Caps are trapped back up ice. Ryan Trottier looking to make a play to Tocchet. It's poke checked away by Calle Johansson. Now the Capitals start up quickly. Christie to the Penguins in. He got a good skater to Hatcher coming down the slot. Hatcher turns around, got away from Tocchet, goes to the left wing corner. One of the Capitals, McDermott, was knocked down in front of the net. Left point, a lot of traffic in front of that goal. Comes over to Hatcher. Right side down to Johansson shooting. Stop. Hatcher's got the puck right down the slot. Here he comes. His shot deflected by the Penguin defense. And now Tocchet will take it and ice it. He's going to shoot it out of danger. Capitals with a good scoring chance around the Penguin goal with some pressure, but they can't capitalize. 19 seconds left in the first period. We'll return. No score on the Penguins Hockey Network.
For the last time, name the secret ingredient that gives Diet Pepsi an unfair advantage.
Uh-huh.
Well, what is it?
It's like this, baby. You know it's uh-huh, 'cause the taste is uh-huh, baby. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% uh-huh.
With Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang here at the Cap Center, which is located in Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. Penguins and Capitals are scoreless with a face-off and the Penguins in. The advantage belongs to Washington here if they can control the face-off for an opportunity. Ronnie Francis against Mike Ridley. And the Capitals do just that. Dino Ciccarelli into the left wing corner. Paced the way for the Capitals with 38 goals this year. He is working on Shel Samuelson. And they battle now with 9 seconds to go in the period. Off to Ridley. Ridley tried to center, but Shel Samuelson took it away. Comes up to the left point. Langway knocked it down. The period should end. Scoreless here, and it will. Horn sounds here at the Cap Center. We played one period. And at the end of 20 minutes in game one of the semifinal playoff battle between the Penguins and Caps, neither club's been able to score. We'll be back on the Penguins Hockey Network.
A few words about Long John Silver's new Adda-piece.
Add a filet, Ray.
Add some shrimp on the side, Clyde.
Add some chicken filet, honey, dummy.
Buy any meal at Long John's and add a piece. Fish for 75 cents, chicken for 65, or shrimp for 35.
Animal!
post! A great new way to... Now go for 3 delicious shrimp or batter dipped fish plus fries, all just $1.99.
Remember all the great action of the Stanley Cup with the Penguins Yearbook. Available now through the mail or visit the Pens Pro Shop at the Civic Arena. Savor the silver.
If only there were two. We wouldn't have to worry about the environment. We'd have a backup. But there is no second chance, which is why Giant Eagle offers an environmentally friendlier line of high-quality Green Mark products, like unbleached coffee filters and phosphate-free detergent. Each, in a small way, can help protect the one world we do have.
At the Capitals Center, end of one period here in Game 1 of this best-of-7 playoff series. The Penguins and Capitals are scoreless. Capitals had 2 scoring chances on the man advantage on the power play in that first period, and one of those on a major penalty for 3 minutes worth of time, and they went 0 for 2. They outshot the Penguins 9-8 in the opening 20 minutes, and the Penguins killed 5 minutes of that period, a quarter of it in penalty time that they had assessed against them. Capitals ended up out shooting Pittsburgh 9-8. In fact, early in the period had a big wide advantage against the Penguins, but the Penguins came back and played well. Both goaltenders, Tom Barrasso of the Penguins and Donnie Beaupre of the Capitals, extremely sharp in the opening 20 minutes of action as they battle one another. Game 2 of this playoff series will be coming up on Tuesday night, and it will be, of course, on the KBL Sports Network and also our Penguin Radio Network. And then games 3 and 4 at Pittsburgh Thursday night at the Civic Arena, and then Saturday. And there are tickets available to those games, so you might want to check with the Penguin box office tomorrow, the Civic Arena, and check in and find out what is available for those 2 playoff games that are on board at the Civic Arena. Then, if it's necessary, they would alternate back and forth for the final 3 games, and should it go to 7, the Capitals would have the final game by virtue of finishing second in the Patrick Division. They would have the 7th and final game right here in this building. In the other playoff series, New Jersey at the Rangers, and of course the Rangers with home ice with the best record overall. And out of town tonight, Buffalo and Boston battling at Boston. We have no score in that game. And also the other matchup, Montreal and Hartford, and they are playing at the Forum in Montreal. And we have no score in that game in the first period of play. Well, the Penguins and Capitals battle one another during the course of this season, and it was a capital a year for a change as they defeated the Penguins 5-2. And let's go back in retrospect and take a look at this year's season series.
This season saw the Washington Capitals defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-2. The Caps began with thoughts of last year's 4 straight Penguin game sweep in the playoffs that led them to the Patrick Division title. When this year began, the Caps were looking for a little revenge. On October 29th, they got it in a big way. An 8-0 shutout win by goaltender Don Beaupre. In that game, 8 different Capitals scored, led by Dmitry Kristich's goal and 3 assists. 2 weeks later, the Penguins traveled to the Cap Center and were not treated any better. Washington scored 4 second-period goals, with Michael Bobonka gathering 4 points. The final score saw the Caps win 6-2. Then 1 month later, Washington visited Pittsburgh for the second time, and the outcome wasn't too much different. The Caps once again jumped on the Penguins for an early 3-0 first-period lead. They would never look back, winning the game 7-2. So after the first 3 meetings of the year, Washington was 3-0, outscoring the Penguins 21-4. The Pens finally got some revenge of their own on December 28th in Washington. Mark Recchi and Phil Bourque each scored twice in the first 2 periods. Then 1 month later, the Penguins made their 3rd visit of the season to the nation's capital. This game would turn out to be a seesaw battle. Dino Ciccarelli's 2 first-period goals gave the Caps a 2-0 lead. But the Penguins fought back to score 4 goals and take a 4-3 advantage. However, the Caps also rallied, with John Druce's 3rd-period goal proving to be the game winner. This was also the game in which Mario Lemieux, Kevin Stevens, and Jaromir Jagr were given game misconduct, with Jagr receiving a 10-game suspension for bumping referee Ron Hogarth. 1 month later saw the Pens on the road once again against the Caps. Dale Hunter would lead the way with 2 second-period goals, giving the Caps a 5-3 victory. Washington now had a 5-1 series lead. The final matchup came on April 15th, 5 days following the settlement of the NHL strike. After a 1-1 tie after 2 periods, the Penguins exploded for 3 third-period goals, 2 by Jaromir Jagr as he paced away in a 4-1 Penguin victory. This game clinched 3rd place in the Patrick Division and resulted in a first-round playoff date against the Capitals.
Well, this feature has been brought to you by the people at Mellon Bank. You're why we do our very best. We'll have more from the Cap Center in just a moment. No score at the end of 1 in Game 1 of the playoffs on the Penguins Hockey Network.
While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a college education. Home equity loans from Mellon. While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a new nursery. Home equity loans from Mellon.
Milton, wake up! Pepsi's changed their slogan to Gotta Have It!
Gotta have it.
Subconsciously, gotta have it is something we've felt all along, but have never been able to properly express.
This is a new dawn.
I was going to say that.
This is the kind of movement that can not only change a local government, can change a world.
If people gotta have it, I guess they must want it.
Pepsi is to our society what water was to early civilization.
To me, Gotta Have It is a way of life.
Everybody's gotta have it, not just celebrities, because who believes celebrities anyway?
Get this close to the thrill of real life on the Discovery Channel. It's your world.
Quote, a mid-sized Dodge Dakota with a new optional 230 horsepower Magnum V8 outpowers, outhauls, and just plain outpulls even full-size 5-liter V8s from Ford and Chevy. Unquote. Dodge, the most powerful line of trucks anywhere.
Get up to $2,000 cash back on select trucks during the Dodge Dare to Compare Challenge.
Penguins nothing, Capitals nothing after 1 period of Game 1 of the Patrick Division semifinal series. And you can see the Penguins on home video called Genesis Video Productions and add 2 great Penguin games to your video collection for the price of 1. They're having a buy 1, get 1 free sale. Buy any game of your choice and get the second one free. And to place your order, call 1-800-TRY-PENS. Operators are standing by right now to take your credit card order. Cost is only $19.95. And the current issue of Penguins Report features an interview with Mario Lemieux, who talks about his love for Pittsburgh, both the city and the Penguins and the fans. You also find out the members of the Penguins' silver anniversary team. Ronnie Francis discusses a difficult season that for him has been interrupted twice. You can take a whirlwind trip to Europe on a scouting mission with assistant coach Barry Smith. All coming up and all available right now, in fact, in the current issue of Penguins Report, on sale now at area newsstands and the Civic Arena gift shop. Rick Tocchet apparently was hurt in that first period when he was knocked down by Dale Hunter. He was able to play after that, but that was why we were unable to get him on between periods. We were going to talk to him, but he couldn't come out. So we'll be interested to see how he is in the second period when we come back. 0-0 after one here at the Cap Center on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Recently, we asked you to give your Giant Eagle receipts to schools so they could redeem them for free Apple computers. The response has been overwhelming. But remember, all receipts must be turned into your local school by Saturday, April 25th. So keep up the good work. Apples for students from Giant Eagle. It's working.
Can you believe what's happening here? Hour after hour, and all I get are calls about this gotta have it slogan for Pepsi. Let's go to the phones.
Regis, since it's gotta have it phenomena, I finally got something to talk to my kids about.
He is bonding with his family because of Pepsi.
I've never seen such a diverse group of people buying Pepsis at one time.
Isn't that wonderful? We're all happy for you.
I gotta have it. He's gotta have it.
What's the matter with these people?
If it ain't Pepsi, it ain't Pepsi.
You got a good point there. I think so. Coming up next, Pepsi lovers who gotta have it and why.
The Pittsburgh Penguins' 25th anniversary highlight video, now available for mail orders only. A colorful look at the club's first 25 years and the greatest moments of the 91-92 season. From tragedy to triumph, the dramatic story of the Penn season unfolds. Order now. Send $19.95 plus $3 shipping to Penguins Video Mail Order, the Civic Arena, Pittsburgh, PA 15219.
Channel 11 News with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan. Professional journalists involved in their work, involved in their community. David Johnson's years in Pittsburgh give him first-hand knowledge of local issues. Add to that Peggy Finnegan's experienced reporting, and it means complete detailed news coverage from Channel 11's news team. If you haven't seen us lately, it's time to see what you've been missing. Channel 11 News with David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan. More news, more often.
Well, face-offs in that first period in the offensive zone. Capitals 1-2. Penguins none. In the defensive zone even. And in the neutral zone, the Penguins with the edge 4-3 in that first period. On this date in Penguin playoff history, Kevin Stevens scored the overtime winner against the Caps in Game 2 of the Patriot Division playoff finals last year. And the Penguins won the game 7-6 and did not lose another one to the Caps.
The Capitals had won 6 straight overtime games in the playoffs prior to that loss last year. The Penguins beat them. The Penguins were involved in 3 overtime games last year, and they won 2 and lost 1. We welcome the folks back on the radio side of our simulcast here as the Penguins and Capitals are scoreless. Just to finish that story, the Penguins involved in 3 playoff games last year, Staggy. They won 2 of them in the 8th minute of play. Yager scored, Stevens scored, and they lost the 3rd game in the 8th minute of play at Boston when Ruzicka scored the game winner. So the 8th minute in an overtime game for the Penguins might be something to watch. We'll be back with more here from the Cap Center, period number 2, coming up on the Penguins Hockey Network.
If it's the right beer now, then in 10 minutes, it won't be the right beer anymore, will it? Because now will be over, and you won't have anything to drink. So maybe it's time for you to write and star in an intelligent beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101 now.
While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a way to consolidate all your bills and loans. Home equity loans from Mellon. While you're enjoying some of the comforts of home, remember, your home can give you lots of other comforts. Like a college education. Home equity loans from Mellon.
If only there were 2. We wouldn't have to worry about the environment. We'd have a backup. But there is no second chance, which is why Giant Eagle offers an environmentally friendlier line of high-quality green mark products, like unbleached coffee filters and phosphate-free detergent. Each in a small way can help protect the one world we do have.
Penguin Hockey is brought to you by Sears Brand Central, the brands you want at the store you trust. Sears Brand Central. By Acura and the Western Pennsylvania Acura dealer. If you drive an Acura, you'll buy an Acura. And by Mellon Bank, this game is brought to you by the people at Mellon Bank. You're why we do our very best.
Goaltending was spectacular in the first period at both ends of the rink. This play developed a 2-on-1 as a good pass when Shell Samuelson came out to Airy, and Airy went to Francis. And Don Beaupre shut Ronnie Francis down on the 2-on-1. Johnny Druce had a backhand opportunity as he cut inside on Shell Samuelson. Barrasso came across, dropped down to his knees, timing perfect, made the save on John Druce, who was the hero for the Capitals a couple of years ago in the playoffs. Just got red hot, and he has struggled really ever since.
Rick Tocchet back on right wing, and prior to the start of the second period, he went over to Kerry Fraser and was chatting with him. And the reason we say that is because he was scheduled to be on our TV interview for this intermission, and Tocchet was in that locker room. I'm not sure if he was mentioning something to him about getting whacked.
I think he took a stick in the face from Dale Hunter.
Now here is McDermott running off Samuelson, and the Capitals have it. Here they come back on a 2-on-1. Dale Hunter right side to begin the second period, going to Christie, but broken up by Larry Murphy, the Penguin defenseman. Rick Tocchet of the Penguins. Off Samuelson, rammed hard by Paul McDermott, who flattened him against the glass. That far side, Tocchet cruising back into the Capitals' end. Cicerelli took it away, and Stevens will push him against the board. Christie, though, trying to get away from traffic, and he lofts it back to the Penguin right wing corner. Grant Jennings winding it around. Cicerelli digging for the Capitals. It's off free. Look out, Callie Johansson shooting, and Barrasso stopped that with his blocking glove. On the play, Brian Trottier hops up to center. To Stevens, who's tripped from behind. Nothing called. The play goes on, and Tocchet shoots it. That'll be stopped by Don Beaupre. Stevens has his shoulder pad hanging out of his jersey after being upended, trying to race up through center ice. Cicerelli is belted by Trottier, and the puck on behind the net.
That play away from the puck is just classic Washington Capitals hockey. They did it a lot during the season series and got away with that kind of stuff.
Yager of the Penguins trying to get a handle on it in his own end. Shell Samuelson taking one of the caps against the boards. And it is played back in behind the goal. Shell Samuelson will capture it, and the Penguin defenseman moves to the right of his own net. Outlet pass to Brian Trottier, and on to Stevens again with that shoulder pad hanging out of his jersey. It goes to Yager, but he can't beat Kevin Hatcher. Good defensive play by Hatcher, and he counterattacks. The Capitals very good at this. Hatcher shoots it off the glass, and it caroms around to the right wing corner of the Penguin zone. Mike Ridley of Washington will put it behind the goal. Nobody there for Washington, and Yuri Hrdina flies through the ice now, up the alley, coming to the Capitals line. 3-on-3 into the Capitals end, puts the brakes on, shoots it deflected. Here's Erie in front of it, deflected off his stick and went wide of Beaupre. Right back to the net. Shot by Hrdina, and that's stopped by Beaupre. Going to be very alert because Hrdina can fire from anywhere, and he let that backhander go towards the goal. Kelly Miller stepping back into the Penguins, and it's been not a game, despite the scoreless contest. It's been a game of chances so far. Both teams have had good opportunities. Yager right back in behind the goal. And here's Erie running in. A loose puck in front. Hrdina slams it right off the body of Donnie Beaupre. Reaching back behind the goal will be Brad Slagle, the rookie defenseman. And he'll slip it down the left wing boards, the length of the ice. This should be icing against the Capitals, and it will be. And they'll bring it to the Capitals zone. 17:34 to go. Period number 2. No score on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Get this close to the thrill of real life on the Discovery Channel. It's your world.
Great shift with that Yuri Hrdina line with Jaromir Jagr against the Caps. Jagr with that tremendous ability to hold off the defender and also have one hand on the stick and still get a shot away. The rebound came out, or puck came out in front of Beaupre, and Hrdina just hammered it right off his body. I don't think he knew where that puck was.
Right after that, he had a chance to put it back on the net. Buffalo has taken a 1-0 lead over the Boston Bruins at the end of one at Boston. Who scored that goal? Svoboda, the former Canadian. Montreal leads 1-0. Gilbert Dion has scored against the Hartford Whalers in the first. And the Rangers, Darren Turcotte, continues his hot scoring pace at a hat trick against the Penguins the other night and gets the first goal of the playoffs. The Rangers lead New Jersey 1-0 first period at New York. And it comes back into the left wing corner of the Capitals in. Dealt behind the net. Here's Francis trying to turn with a wraparound. That's stopped by Beaupre. Off the left wing side in a scoreless game. Gordy Roberts goes in. He'll put it in front. It bounces wildly behind the cage. The Penguins turn in center, but the Capitals. Sylvain Cote sends it ahead of the left wing to Randy Burridge. Burridge had a career here. Vavanka right side. Here's Bondre in on goal. His shot. He scores. Peter Bondra gets the opening goal of this game, and the Capitals lead 1-0.
Gordy Roberts went in deep on the play on the left side. He came backpedaling out of the Washington zone and never got track of Peter Bondra. He came over to this side to play the puck and never knew that Bondra had sneaked in behind him. He was wide open at the blue line. He cut in on Barrasso. Bondra's gotten much better at finishing plays like this, and he was able to slip it under the glove hand side of Barrasso right under his arm to give the Caps a 1-0 lead. But Gordy Roberts just simply went the wrong way. See where he is? He's way over across the ice, and three players over on one side on one man, nobody on Peter Bondra, and he walked in and scored the goal. Roberts never looked that way when he backed out of the Washington zone. He never looked to his left. His attention stayed to the right, and Bondra just came right up that right side and walked right into score.
So Peter Bondra, who at 28 of the regular season, gets the first goal of the playoffs for the Capitals, and they lead 1-0 here at home against the Penguins. And Calle Johansson slip it up the center to John Druce, and here he is on the move to the Penguins in on the right wing to Adam May. May is crushed by Samuelson on a booming check in the corner. And Samuelson lined him up. Now it'll be Ron Francis. Oh, a heavy hit by Ulf Samuelson, who has been rattled himself here. May steps into him again. And Kevin Hatcher now turns the puck back in behind the Penguin goal. And Barrasso will get the puck to Ulf Samuelson. Right wing to Joey Mullen on the left side. Got Loney cutting back to the Capitals in. A slap shot. He shoots and scores. Troy Loney ties the game for the Penguins. Oh, no, Eddie Spaghetti. Troy Loney doesn't score a whole lot of goals like that, but a heavy slap shot from 35 beats Beaupre, and the Penguins have tied it.
Loney is noted more for a good hard snap shot or a wrist shot. Well, that one was just a tremendous slap shot, and it looked like it beat Beaupre between the pads.
So the Penguins have tied it at one apiece.
The puck was skipping over the stick of Dave Tippett right onto the stick of Loney, and he drilled it, I think, between the legs of Beaupre. He just didn't react well to that shot.
Ulf Samuelson assisting. And I think it was Herdina was the other assist, if I'm not mistaken. Joey Mullen, I'm sorry. Joey Mullen made the pass over to Loney, that rink-wide pass. You know, Loney may have fooled Beaupre on that because he doesn't take many shots like that, and he just cranked it up, and Donnie might have expected him to do something else with it. Here is Ridley. Now on a 1-1 tie. Both clubs scoring very quickly. Here's a long shot deflected wide of the Penguin net. So we went scoreless in the first period. The two clubs score goals 38 seconds apart to tie the game at 1. Larry Murphy roll it down the right wing into the Capital zone, and Beaupre watches the play, so it'll be an icing call here against Pittsburgh. 15:44 left in the second period, and we're tied at 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You can count on Sears Brand Central for all the brand name electronics and appliances you want. No wonder more people buy more top name brands from the store they trust. And now you can save $100 on this 386 SX 20 megahertz Packard Bell computer with 105 megabyte hard drive. Or get this full-size LXI or Fisher 8mm camcorder for a very low $5.99. Your choice, only at Sears Brand Central.
Troy Loney is first in the playoffs. Ulf Samuelson and Joey Mullen again on the assist. And Loney this year, probably more than any other in his 8 or 9 years with the Penguins, has had some of the prettiest goals he's scored in his career.
I'll tell you, I think Troy Loney's been playing the best hockey of his career here in the last month. He had stretches where he was really hot in the scoring department in his career, but he was doing a great job of killing penalties and playing defensively for the Penguins right before the strike.
There's nothing overly spectacular about the goal he scored, but here's Bob Airey now to the Capitals end. But he doesn't score too often on a long slap shot. You can count on one hand, I think, in his career, the long-range slap shot like he had there where he's put it in the net. And Dale Hunter. Capital center iceman gave it away. Kevin Stevens tried to feather it over to Trottier, intercepted by Hunter. Again, the Penguins without Mario Lemieux, the league's leading scorer. Unable to play in this game because of a bruised shoulder, and now Hunter gets involved. And who's he going to? Paul Stanton. They're in against the boards. German was knocked off his skates, went right into the Penguin net and knocked it off its moorings. And Dale Hunter, who's been kind of quiet here so far tonight, involved with Paul Stanton. The Capitals have had the only 2 power play chances in this game. The game is tied at 1, and both of those came in the first period. Well, I think penalty time will be issued here against Stanton and Hunter. We'll be back tied at 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Aqua Rush, salty spray, power brush, Journey, Kawasaki is where I wanna be.
Introducing the hottest 2-seater watercraft on the water, the Kawasaki Jet Ski Super Sport. With a sleek V hull and a powerful 750 engine, the Super Sport is where you want to be.
Kawasaki, let the good times roll. Kawasaki.
Roughing minors, coincidental minors to Paul Stanton and Dale Hunter. Won't affect play on the ice. Rick Tocchet, I think he got hit in the nose by Dale Hunter back in that first period. You mentioned that Hunter is quiet. Well, he just took a shot right at the back of the head of Paul Stanton. Then he tied him up. Stanton's trying to get out of there, just trying to pull himself away from Hunter, throwing the elbow into his face as he was doing it, and he picked up a roughing minor as well. Dale Hunter will not get too involved in that kind of stuff until his team is behind. He likes to change the flow of the game, try to get his team going, but he's smart enough to know not to take penalties when the game is still, as it is now, tied at 1 or if his team is ahead.
Well, the face-off will be in Pittsburgh territory to the left of Tom Barrasso. Mike Ridley with Kelly Miller and Dino Ciccarelli. And Iafrate and Langway will play defense together. The Penguins counter here with Trottier, Tocchet, and Stevens. Larry Murphy and Ulf Samuelsson. Peter Bondra scored for the Capitals at 3:03. 38 seconds later was Troy Loney to tie the game. A lot of jockeying going on here. Trottier's waved out of the face-off, and Stevens comes in, trying to muscle his way in. Could not do it. Iafrate slam it down the right wing boards, but the Penguins chase for it. They can't get it out. Stevens will try again. Capitals all over him. Still keep possession. And Mike Ridley near it behind the net, and Rick Tocchet handles it. Tocchet coming over to the Penguins from the Philadelphia Flyers. Enjoyed a big stretch run for the Penguins, despite the fact that he played with his broken jaw that he suffered in Chicago on March 15th. Actually was hit, you see Tocchet number 92, on a pass from Mario Lemieux. As Lemieux was trying to shoot it up into the offensive zone, he simply caught Tocchet on the jaw and broke his jaw. Tocchet went off for a while, came back and scored 2 goals. The Penguins went on to win the game.
Ulf Samuelsson last year in the playoffs was often given a mission, kind of a search and destroy mission against the opposition's top right winger. He's playing the left side, and occasionally the Penguins would put him on the other side to check someone. Of course, the battles with Cam Neely are the ones that are most notable, but in this situation now, or at least the last 20 games of this regular season, the Penguins have had Samuelsson out there with the top line of the Penguins, Lemieux's line, and therefore he hasn't had an opportunity to check against the top scorer of the opposition, because normally checking lines are on the ice for the opposition. But you may see the Penguins come with some kind of decision as to what to do with Samuelsson after this game, depending on any of the right wingers on the Caps unit to have a good night.
And Herdina now put it behind the Caps goals. The Penguins get ready to go behind the net. Yager turns around with a backhander that misses the mark. Partially deflected Herdina. And they weave in that corner. The Penguins have it in behind the net. Erie in front. Shoots it right off Beaupre on the bad angle, and he got a leg on that. Shale Samuelsson gave it right to Michael Bovanka, but he caught it up to Jaromir Jagr. He gave it away, and the Capitals steer it up into the Penguin zone. Shale Samuelsson dumps it back. Here come the Penguins on a 2-on-none. The Capitals on line change. Herdina's got Jagr in front. He goes to him. It's a deflection. Missed the net. Or did Beaupre get a piece of it? I'm not sure. Looked as though Jagr just could not find the net as he got in deep. The Capitals were in the midst of a change, and the Penguins almost made them pay for it. Now Jagr on the right wing board. Comes in, goes to Herdina. Jagr was up in it by Povanka. Herdina shoots it towards the net, hit Jagr. Up in it in front of the goal was Bob Erie by Sylvain Cote, and Beaupre comes over, trying to clear the puck out. He hustles to get back on the net now as Sylvain Cote gains possession. Up to Kevin Hatcher. And up to the left wing to Randy Burridge, who will easily send it to the Penguin left wing corner. Getting the puck will be Larry Murphy. Up the center to Ron Francis with Loney and Mullen as his wingers now. The Penguins again snapping it behind the Capitals goal. Hatcher tried to play it away. Francis to Loney. Loney trying to put it in front. Joey Mullen there also. They can't get it out in front of the net. It's on the side of the goal. Beaupre trying to muscle people away from that net. Now knocks down one of the Penguins, and we get a stop in action. 13:15 left in the second period, tied at 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Milton, wake up! Pepsi's changed their slogan to gotta have it!
Gotta have it.
Subconsciously, gotta have it is something we've felt all along, but have never been able to properly express.
This is a new dawn.
I was going to say that.
This is the kind of movement that can not only change your local government, can change your world.
If people gotta have it, I guess they must want it. Pepsi is to our society what water was to early civilization.
To me, gotta have it is a way of life.
Everybody's gotta have it. Not just celebrities, because who believes celebrities anyway?
Yuri Hrdina, a world-class hockey player, the former captain of the Czechoslovakian national team, went to Jágr, and Jágr was looking down at the puck, and I think he kind of lost track of where he was. He came to the net. First he looked back at Hrdina, and when he finally got the puck on his stick, he was in too tight and really steered it just wide of the goal, I believe.
Now I look at it, I think Hrdina actually was trying to shoot it to the net, and a shot from the left point by Ulf Samuelsson denied by Beaupre. If he'd have gotten the puck out to Jágr about 10 feet away from Beaupre, then he can work his magic with that wand.
And I think that's why Jágr had problems with it, because finally when he did get the puck, he really didn't know what to do with it or where he was exactly.
It was a very hard, I think more of a shot than it was a pass. And Joey Mullen now deflects it back in behind the Capitals goal, and Calle Johansson, former Buffalo Sabre, with the left wing of Drews, can't get it out. Right point, Murphy banned on that attempted right point shot. Deflected back to center, and Murph again will take control of it. On to the left wing to Ronnie Francis, camps in. Basically sent it to the goal, and Beaupre has it, and Hatcher rattles Ronnie Francis with a big body check. Sends him flying, and Francis steps in to say something to Kevin Hatcher. At 6'4", 225 pounds, a big figure on the ice. The Capital defenseman number 4, Kevin Hatcher, and an all-star.
Yeah, and the fans here in Washington get down on him pretty quickly because he doesn't throw body checks like that often enough, at least for their liking. Big guy like that, they figure he should always be driving guys into the glass. And that was a good hit by Hatcher on Ronnie Francis there. Scotty Bowman won Stanley Cups with the Montreal Canadiens in 73, 76, 77, 78, and 79.
He took the Blues to the finals twice, did he not?
Yep.
St. Louis Blues. Ridley's unit out here with Cicerelli and Miller against Trottier. Stevens and Tocchet now. Jennings off the left point, shoots it. It comes off the legs. Shell Samuelsson. Delivered to the corner, comes in front now from Trottier to Stevens, and he couldn't pull the trigger. And Rod Langway, the veteran defenseman, up the right wing to Kelly Miller. A drive low, crouching style of skating that Kelly Miller has. Leave it for Cicerelli. Good pass, right point. Iafrate can shoot it, and he got to go, and it was blocked by Kevin Stevens. Bounced off his body all the way back to the Capitals line. Iafrate gave it away to Trottier. Trottier shoots it off the arm of Beaupre. It bounces up in front, and Langway fires it over to the near corner. Now Mike Ridley. Capital center iceman. Push it up to Miller. He looks for Dino Cicerelli, and Jennings going to take him with a shoulder check into the corner. A loose puck pulled in by Shell Samuelsson, number 23. And up to Stevens, who has a little room to work with here with Rick Tocchet. Stevens glides his way into the Capitals end. Drop pass goes to Jennings. A rich shot right down low, and Beaupre had to come off his stick, and he juggles it up in the air and holds on. Remember the game the other night in Pittsburgh when Beaupre was beaten by the Penguins 4-1. There were a lot of occasions when the puck came off his stick or his body, and he juggled up in the air and left it out in front. We haven't seen that until just this last moment, a couple of moments, where that puck comes off of him and up in the air, and then it's kind of free game for everybody.
Yeah, the other night, Rick
Tocchet
scored a goal the other night on the power play with the puck bouncing up in the air like that. He batted it right out of midair into the net to get a goal for the Penguins. The Penguins have done a good job in this hockey game of gaining the Capitals' blue line. They're getting that Capital defense to back up, and they're being able to make plays just inside the blue line. Earlier in the season series between these two clubs, the Caps are doing a good job of shutting down the slot, shutting down the blue line, and forcing the Penguins to turn the puck over, and they were getting good odd man rushes back the other way, but that has not been the case in this game. The Penguins have been able to make a lot of good plays in the offensive zone on the rush.
Penguins have outshot the Capitals 11-3 here in the second period so far, and the game is tied at 1. 11:41 left. The Capitals gain the puck from the draw. Dale Hunter flips to the left wing for Randy Burries. Now they've got Hunter going to the bench now as he comes off. He was handling the face-off for defensive purposes in his own zone, and he's one of the better face-off men in the league. Only 2 power play chances, both of those for the Capitals, coming in the first period of play. We've had a pretty tight game as far as penalties, not too many of them. Verasso goes over to the far side, and Bob Airy again pulls it in. Phil Bourque of the Penguins was ejected on a high sticking major in the first period, so he's gone for the night. And Johansson rambles back into his own zone, goes up to Bavaca. He just simply shoots it off the sideboard. This one will come to length of the ice. It could be an icing call, and it will be against the Caps. With 11 minutes left here in the second period, still tied on the Penguins Hockey Network.
This is what happens when you let sick people play with powerful toys. Now, is there anyone else who doesn't listen to DVE?
The Washington Capitals got out for the quickest start of anybody in the National Hockey League. They were 17-5 to begin the season, and they were in first place in the National Hockey League from October 13th until January 16th. And that's when the Rangers took over first place, and they never relinquished it the rest of the way. So the Capitals were in the driver's seat for at least half the season. They finished second overall in the Patrick and overall in the standings, tied with Detroit in points, but had more victories. Breaks that logjam. Herdina against Hunter. Capitals win another faceoff, and it'll be Burridge again sneaking the puck back to center, but there's number 68 Jaromir Jagr. Murphy takes the puck, flip it up high in the atmosphere, going to the left wing corner. Bob Airy ran into Brad Slagle. Now here's Jagr off the corner boards. Tough here, comes out, backhands it to the net, and that again is stopped by Bo Prud. Lavanka races through center, going to the Penguin line. A drop pass intercepted by Jagr. The Penguins counterattack, and it'll be Yuri Herdina now on with Loney. Herdina going to the right side.
Herdina loves to go to the right side, and that time he crisscrossed with Loney and got...
Capitals will start right back, and Burridge with a quick shot from 20 feet, and Barrasso denies that.
They got their signals crossed, and Loney had to do everything he could to stay on side there.
Loose puck to the right of the Penguin cage. Larry Murphy brings it from his own zone, still hearing cat calls. The former Capital defenseman Murphy fell down, now going to the bench, and get an icing call against the Penguins. But every time Murphy touches the puck here, the fans get on him with a little call that they have here in this building. But Murphy has had one of his best years in the National Hockey League ever with the Penguins this year, and of course helped really lead the way for them in the playoffs last year to win the Stanley Cup. There's Al Iafrate, the former Maple Leaf, who is a free spirit to say the least.
And he led the way. The Capitals defenseman scored 59 goals this year. The defenseman as a core scored 59, and he led the way.
Patting LaFontaine has scored for Buffalo. They now lead the Bruins 2-0 second period at Boston. And Dale Hunter steps in here against Ron Francis, this time to the left of the Penguin net. We're halfway home here in the second period, 10:03 left. Dropped off. Christie's won that face off the Hatcher. Lost the puck to Ronnie Francis, and the Penguins center iceman trying to connect up ahead of the right wing to Mullen, and it's broken up by the Caps, and it goes deep behind the Penguin net and Gordy Roberts. The Penguin defenseman, he's paired out here with Stanton. His pass came off a stick to Troy Loney. Loney shoots it on the center. Johansson again gathers it in to Dale Hunter, and he'll drive it down the near boards and behind the Pittsburgh goal. And Roberts again to chase after it, this time an icing call against Washington.
Mike, the boards here in the Cap Center are dead. There's not a lot of life to them. When you dump the puck in, the puck just kind of sits there. And that's tailor-made for the Caps' strong forechecking style that they have. It makes it tough for the defensemen like Gordy Roberts, Larry Murphy, to go back and make plays. They have to move the puck very quickly, hammer it around the boards, and even that's difficult because the boards don't give you that good bounce when you try to hammer it off the boards to get it around up the sideboards where the wingers can handle it. So it makes it very difficult when the Caps go to that real strong forechecking style that they have.
Gordy Roberts, 34-year-old defenseman out of Detroit, Michigan, playing for the Penguins. I looked at some stats today over the course of the year. He was probably the Penguins' most consistent player as far as first half and second half in identical type of marks that he posted. He finished very strong in the plus-minus department for the Penguins on the year, among their leaders. And here we go back to action now. The puck out of the Capital zone. Paul McDermott winded over to Dimitri Christie. And Christie zigzag in. Look, that came off a leg, and the Penguins can't get it. Now Francis will try. Ball's down. Push it up to Joey Mullen. Goes the off wing left side, and the Capitals in. He'll leave it for Standing. Lets it go. And Roberts has the puck. Cody Roberts around center point to Paul Stan. Snaps it off. That'll miss the mark. Loney, the Penguins in. McDermott there too, but here's Francis over to gather the puck in, and he tried to center. Went off a blade. Left point, Cody Roberts. Push it down the wood and in behind the goal. Loney and the Penguins, his strong point is right here where he is now against McDermott, working those boards and trying to make it happen from behind that net.
McDermott's no slouch in that department either.
Well, he certainly isn't. There's two big heavyweights working against one another there. And still dig for it. Johansson, Francis. And finally, with a whistle sounds, Kerry Frazier tells the coal miners who were digging for coal to get on out of there. And there's Hunter in to give Francis a little shot from behind. Loney, that's hard work, too, believe me. 8:47 to go in the second period, tied at 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
The Rocky Mountains are picturesque, cold, and refreshing, and have positively, absolutely, totally nothing to do with beer or Pittsburgh. It's time to take action. It's time for you to write and star in your own beer commercial. Call the Pittsburgh Brewing Company at 692-1101 now.
With Paul Steigerwald, this is Mike Lang at the Camp Center in Landover, Maryland, where the Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals are all tied at 1 apiece. And Kelly Miller drags it back for the Capitals, going to the Penguins end. Miller of the Miller brother fame in this league put it back in front of the goal, and it comes off Grant Jennings, and Jennings digging for it. Back in the corner, Samuelson ties up the man. That's one thing the Penguins want their defensemen to do, is tie up those people with that puck, because they love to cycle and work out the board.
You got to pin your man.
Stevens now cutting through to the Capitals in on a late whistle there, but an offside call. And now Cicerelli and Stevens, and Cicerelli bumped